Here is your podcast.
You know, I've been doing this show 9 years. In the beginning, it was great. I got to show up and just talk and leave. That was fantastic. But now Mex sends me this theme song, tells me to put my own voice in it. Lily shows up. She doesn't produce a goddamn thing. All she does is laugh, turn around, and go home. The only thing I don't wind up doing for this show is listen to it. That's your fucking job. Hey, what's happening, Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast. Oh, you can hear the dulcet tones of our friend Lily in the background. She's laughing, not just to laugh, folks. She's not just here to cause all sorts of noise and fill your earbud vaginas up with all sorts of, or iPod vaginas, or earbud. Those are gone, by the way. I don't know why I brought that up. But here's what I'll tell you, folks. You want a little inside baseball? You want a little between the sheets? You want a little 5-card stud? You want a little full 5-7 card draw? Whatever the fuck. Want a little blind? I don't know those games. Banana? What the fuck? I don't know those home poker games.
Banana. That's definitely a game somewhere.
It's gotta be. I would imagine. This is the third show of the day, folks. I wish I could pretend that is not true, but it is completely true. Because I was doing one show, and then something happened, real life interfered, and then I did another show, and then real life went ahead and grabbed the reins on me with that one too, and I went, I got to do a third show today, man, because I'll tell you what. Your professional broadcasters, your fine broadcasters, your best podcasters, they're not truly warmed up until their third show of the day. I can tell you that. You can hear it in their voices. You can hear the mellifluous tones coming out of their throat as they have a throat ghost that emerges and boos you and scares you with all of its knowledge. I don't know what a throat ghost would have knowledge of. The inner workings of your throat, perhaps. Perhaps it knows all of the uvula secrets. By the way, that's my favorite Hardy Boys mystery. The uvula secrets. Truly, the best Nancy Drew Hardy Boys mystery you'll ever see. Sean Cassidy solved it. Parker Stevenson helped him. Look at that. Look at me bringing up the old-time television shows. You know what? We're going to scrap this. We're going to do a fourth show. Let's do a fourth show. Hopefully I won't get an email in the middle of the show that changes midstream what I wind up talking about, or a text. Because that'll happen, folks. Sometimes you're recording a show and you're going one way, you're going down one path, and then, bling, what's that? Seems like it's an email with a message from Mike. What is that message? That seems outrageous. Why don't I check my texts? That just reinforces this other message from my email. Perhaps I should investigate. And then you do another show, and then you stop. And this seems like me telling you a lot of stuff you're never going to hear. That might not be true, but we'll see. So my point is, don't judge me too harshly, folks. This is the third show of the day. I may have just, and look, we've all done things 3 times in a day. The third time, you're never going to get the same type of output. You might have the same kind of energy, you might have the same kind of enthusiasm, but, you can barely reach the navel sometimes on the third show. You can barely reach the nipple sometimes on the third show. I don't know, why did I equate that to a show? I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, because I
Sex is a show?
Say it again?
Sex is a show for you?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Still one of my favorite things I ever tweeted. Why don't I wear a sock while I'm jerking off? Would you close your eyes at a fireworks show? Of course you wouldn't. You want to see what could be babies leaping through the sky. So, hi, how are you? Our friend Lily is here. She's joined me, thankfully. I'm very happy. And, she hasn't been here the past, month and a half or so because of her travel plans and my travel plans and her illnesses and my travel plans and my foolishness. But now we're here together. And I said, you know what? If you're here, let's just do 3 shows. Why don't we do that? Let's bang out 3 solid pieces of podcasting entertainment. Table 2 of them. And then plow forth into the third one when we're tired and spent. Let's get tired and spent together, Lily, you and I. Oh, sure.
Early shows.
Somebody will steal my computer and look at those at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Lily got here earlier today. Well,
I got here 8 hours ago.
It seems long.
I got here 8 hours ago.
Well, and then we had stuff to do.
8 hours ago.
There were things we had to do.
8 hours we have been working.
There was stuff certainly.
I did not make minimum wage today.
Working is true because we were taking all sorts of fun things and making them real. Because I can't do things without my Lily. You know that. I'm like Linus with a fucking blanket. I got to have her here. I got to wrap her around my arm, and then I got to go and talk about the Great Pumpkin, and she laughs. So that's how it works. and she's there while I'm running around trying to fuck Charlie Brown's sister. I don't know if Linus was trying to do that, really. I may have gotten the wrong message from those shows.
Charlie Brown's sister?
She wanted to bang Linus, right? Sally.
Sally?
Sally wanted to fuck Linus.
Yeah.
Lucy wanted to fuck Schroeder. And you know, the only fucking Peanuts guy with a sex drive was fucking Charlie Brown. He wanted the crazy redheaded chick. Otherwise, all the other girls were chasing dudes, and the guys weren't interested. Like, that's awful. Schroeder just wanted to play his piano, and fucking Linus wanted to dig his face into his blanket, which has got to be a metaphor for something. And then these poor girls are just, they're off.
Forget Peppermint Patty.
Peppermint Patty and Marcy got their own thing going on. They're fucking.
But Marcy had a thing for Charlie Brown in season 1.
Nah, sort of. She talked a good game, but she was just trying to stay in the down low. She was bullshit. She was
No, that was the whole.
nah.
That was the whole point.
Fuck that. Marcy's breath was minty fresh. That cannot be denied. It was pepperminty fresh from the jump. And she
No.
pretended to like fucking Charlie Brown because she was like, oh yeah, I totally want to do that because I'm not steaming up my glasses with peppermint patty cum. I mean, that's not happening.
No, that is not true. That is why we did the show that we did with the Charlie Brown Christmas with Love Stinks with the I love her with Peppermint Patty looking at Marcy, but she loves him at Charlie Brown, and Charlie Brown looking at the redheaded girl, but he's in love with somebody else. You just can't win.
True.
That was our whole Peanuts big finale.
All right. Well, okay, fine. So, but still, it doesn't matter. I just said all the girls, the fucking chicks, were the only ones who wanted to get laid on that show. Charlie Brown was the only guy with a sex drive. He wanted to bone the redhead. So Marcy, you know, Peppermint Patty wanted to do Marcy. Marcy wanted to do Charlie Brown. Fucking Lucy wanted Schroeder, and Sally wanted Linus, and then everybody else wanted fucking Franklin because they've heard the stories.
I almost called him Token. I couldn't think of
Token?
his name, and I went with Token from South Park.
Right.
Because they call him Token.
No, Franklin.
It's like Franklin is his name, not Token.
It's Roosevelt Franklin Elementary School. Yeah. Elementary School.
But it was so bad because I was just like, what? Yeah.
What's his name? Sure, Franklin Token. Well, still, regardless. So yeah, so on Peanuts, man, I don't know how we got into that, but I mean, how did we decide to talk about it with how the Peanuts people wanted to fuck? Do we know how we did that? Possibly.
I don't know how any of that came apart. I don't.
Okay. All right. So that's what happens when you do 4 shows. You forget how you talked about the Peanuts people fucking. That's what happens when you unearth that content. When you're because again, I'm not going to lie to you. The first 3 shows were about how the cast of Peanuts like to fuck. And so we're trying to recreate that magic for you now, and it's just not fucking happening. So Lily and I have been here, and she's been out running around, and we've been taking photos and doing things and making promo, and then doing 3 fucking shows. And she has to leave like shortly. She's got to go and meet somebody at a fucking diner because she apparently has a job or something, some sort of other life that she involves herself in.
4 other jobs.
You know what? It's interesting you would say that because we should shut this down and then do a 4th show, so that'll count as like your 4 jobs today. My throat. So I gotta bang through this, right? To get as long as I can. I'm trying to get Lily to come back tomorrow. Who wants Lily to come back tomorrow and help me? Everybody? Yes. But she's like, oh man.
Everybody except Lily.
Lily's like, oh man, I gotta put together a menu tomorrow. And I'm like, a menu? What the fuck? I'll help you put together a menu. Fucking soup. Awesome. There you go. You're halfway there. You're halfway there.
That kind of menu. Do you know how to work in Photoshop? I have to actually build a menu.
Well, I can learn it tonight.
Oh, okay. You learn it tonight and then you do it.
But you gotta come here and do the show though.
No.
Wait a minute. There's no deal. I learned Photoshop. I do the menu. You still don't do the other fucking show with me?
Yes, that's how it works.
I don't care for this deal, quite frankly. If anything, we stop this now. We start a 4th show now, just so I can fucking keep you here. Fuck. All right. So I gotta. And I hate doing this to you guys, man. You're fucking tuning in to hear a goddamn show, and you're like, just be funny.
Just do the show then.
Well, I'm trying to. But you know what? People are tuning in. It's like sports. When everybody's like, Colin Kaepernick takes a fucking knee, and everybody's like, fuck, man, I'm just here for the football. I don't need to hear about your racist agenda. And now with this, everybody's like, fuck, man, because I'm taking a knee here in the middle of the show. They're like, fuck, man, I just came here for the comedy. I don't need to hear about your bullshit fucking Lily won't help you agenda. Nobody wants to hear about your menu agenda. Menugenda. I was just gonna say, actually, when a person transgenders and they have to flip, they wind up with a menugenda. That's what they get down there. That's what they call it. That's the doctor lingo. You wouldn't know because you're busy doing other things, but I hang out in a lot of emergency rooms. Guy came in with a sprained manugenda. It happened. Actually, I apologize. A lady came in with a sprained manugenda. formerly a man, but now a lady. And then those things are sensitive, man. When they got to cut off your elbow fat and make you a fucking Manugenda, that thing's going to hurt like hell if you fucking hit the wrong bike seat. What are you talking about? Look, man, I saw that Caitlyn Jenner show. That's what happened.
That is not what happened.
Bullshit. She won the fucking decathlon. She knocked up a Kardashian, and then they cut off her elbows and made her a Manugenda. They fucking put it right on there and gave her a wig and said, "Look at you." They gave her a wig and they said, "Look at you."
What is wrong with you?
Come on, that's hilarious. That makes it sound like she had no choice. Like she wasn't involved in the decision at all. Like she might have gone in for a fucking aneurysm, like a sinus problem or something, and she woke up with a Manugenda and a wig, and they said, "Look at you." Jesus, that's funny. Holy shit. Now I never want to have surgery. You never know what they're going to do to you in there. Hey, man, I'm just in here to get my ACL replaced. Au contraire, mon frere. Prepare the Manugenda. Oh, look at you. Oh, Christ. See, and I say this with love because the transgender people, the population, that community, they know I love them very much. So I have no problems with them and what they want to be or who they are, who they're born as and who they want to become. Because it's just like in Manhunter when Francis Dollaride said, "I am becoming." He was becoming something else. He was becoming a different sort of person. And he's...
Would you like a bigger shovel?
What are you talking about? I didn't say Jamie Gum. Jamie Gum's awful. Francis Dollaride was somebody you could get behind. He seemed like a pretty good guy. I mean, he gave a tiger a fucking sedative and he let Blind Joe and Alan rub her hands all over it. That's fucking awesome. Sure, he wound up shooting a couple people in the face. Sure, he wound up putting in some fake teeth and biting a reporter to death. That was no good for anybody, but still. All right, so, what do you got? What's that look for? I feel your look. I feel like Vincent Vega. Hey, don't look at me like that, all right? I feel your look. So Lily's here, and she's got to go quickly because she has to go to a diner and talk. The fuck? Who is she? Fucking George Costanza? I don't know, but she's got to get the fuck out of here, apparently. It's not like she's been here working all goddamn day, and she can't put any more time in this. By the way, I love the word working. That's fucking perfect. She and I were out catching Pikachus earlier. Did you guys know if I told you that my fucking house is a gym? I found out my house is a gym. And then fucking Lily pulls up the Pikachu guy and she catches a Pikachu outside my house. First he escaped and then she had to use a great ball and she got him. I only know the lingo because of what I was told. I'm not playing yet. But Lily then pulls up the gym in my house, like it's at my apartment complex, and they have the photo of my house. Like in Pokemon, like can people playing somewhere else, can they pull that up and just go, "Hey, look at that"?
Yes, everyone can see your courtyard.
No way.
Inside your gate.
Like someone... Like people, because there are people who listen to the show who play. Like, of course, our friend Liana, who can't stop.
They know where you live, and they know they can drive by and click on the gym.
Oh, but they can't do it from their house.
No, they would have. Well, I don't know. There may be some of the stuff that, because there's like websites that you can download that will look at the overlay and tell you where the nests are and tell you if there are things. I don't use them because I don't cheat. So there may be a way to go view the other gyms when you're not inside the game.
Don't look at my house. All right, that's all I'm telling you, folks. I mean, there's plenty of fucking...
But you don't live in a house. You live in a gym.
I don't... Fine, right, but there's plenty of fucking Chicapoos out there for you to catch all over the fucking place. Chicapoo, whatever. It's a fourth fucking show. Get off my back! Lickasaur, whatever the fuck that guy was you showed me earlier. Lickablicket, whatever his name was.
Lickalotopus.
Yeah, all right, there you go.
I don't think that was it.
I don't think so, but you want to catch him, certainly.
Oh, I do.
Oh, my God. I do, too. Let him soak up my Manugenda. Well, you better write it down because I'll fucking forget it. I have no idea. Look out, scramble. You knocked a Joker over. God damn it. Yeah, you knocked over Heath. All right, so I've got Lily here for just a short time, and so I've got to bang the show out as super quick as I possibly can, unless I can convince her to come here tomorrow and do this fucking show with me again. That would be great. Why not? Let's do all the shows in 2 days.
Will you just tell me the story that I've been asking about for the last hour?
Well, see, but then we're cutting right to a story. People want to hear nonsense. They tune in for the nonsense. Nobody wants to hear me just settle right in.
Will be filled with nonsense.
I'm no Spalding Gray. I can't sit right down and go, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I was in Zaire." You know, nobody fucking wants to do that.
He was a monster in a box. You're a haunted head. That's what you are.
I'll take that. Yeah. I was in Zaire.
By the way, Monster in a Box was not as good as Swimming to Cambodian.
I've never seen them because you told me when we first started doing this that I was a Spalding Gray-esque performer type character.
Well, no, I said that I admire the style that you have when it's similar to his. That was not, I don't compare you to him. I think that there are things, just like I think there are times when you are very George Carlin-ish in your intelligence and you draw from something smarter. But I certainly wouldn't say you are George Carlin, nor are you Spalding Gray. I think you should watch both of them because I think they would make you realize you're genius.
Well, I've seen George Carlin quite a bit, obviously, but I've never seen Spalding Gray. I tried. It was hard to find those. Perhaps now with my Netflix, I'll find them on there.
Well, he's dead now, so.
Well, he is dead, absolutely. And by the way, and you just called him dumb, by the way. Because you were like, yeah, you're kind of Spalding Gray sometimes, but then you're like George Carlin because you're smart. I was like, oh, no.
You talk from the high intelligence like that. I see both of those in you, but they are completely different storytellers.
I see.
So there are times when I see this, there are times when I see that. Both of them were highly intelligent.
See, this is why you're here.
By
because
the way,
otherwise...
I taught at Mensa. It was awesome.
You taught at Mensa? What are you teaching at Mensa?
I taught burlesque at Mensa.
See, who wants to see a guy with an Oxford coat and a pipe take his clothes off?
I have to tell you, it was probably one of the most fun classes I have ever taught, and it was the most stimulating, wonderful 5 hours of my life, I think.
Did they spend the whole time manually stimulating you?
That's what they spent the whole time
sure
doing. Even the women.
All the Mensons are just like, they're just like, oh.
Well, I walked in with cleavage. I was the only one.
Well, that's the thing is they didn't call them tits. They're like, look at those ominous globes.
No,
Yes, they did. They thought of smart ways to say
and
it.
they thought I was extremely funny and dirty, which was nice.
Well, you're all of those things, certainly.
But yeah, so it was very fun, and I was asked to join Mensa, and I said, I think I would have to take a test first.
Wait a minute. They asked you to join Mensa or Mensa?
Did I say Mensa?
You said Mensa.
That is a completely different group.
It certainly
I
is.
do not want to be a part of that.
They would enjoy you just as much, I would imagine.
They all have manginas.
Or manugendas. Holy fuck. Well, so that's awesome. Well, as we all know, I tried to think about whether I could possibly involved in some sort of Mensa activity, and I got tested by a listener of this show and found out I could not. God damn it.
I think you could. I think you just need to take the test again.
Oh, no. I took it at her house. Was that who tested me? Was it Kathy? Who gave me that test?
I don't remember her name.
Catherine.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. I feel awful.
I feel awful?
I do feel awful. I falufa.
Why
So,
can't I think of her name either?
because this is a million years ago when I was funny. And now I'm doing 4 shows in a fucking day because I'm worried I might upset the apple cart at some fucking point.
So
So,
that apple cart's turned.
you think so?
Oh, literally, you got a wheelbarrow full of
Applesauce?
maggots and
Well, I don't know about all that nonsense.
decomposing apple.
No.
It's like you pick it up and it just crushes in your hands and juices down your things crawl out.
Ooh,
Yeah,
slower.
bad.
Talk slowly.
Bad.
Let's just go to your diner. Let's get the fuck out of here.
No, I want to hear the story. Will you please just tell me the story before I go?
Yes, I will. And folks, you know what? I'm going to tell you the story before you go as well. Well, see, but I wanted to talk about a bunch of Kuwait stuff too, but then we want to fucking get and spinning off and all sorts of nonsense.
I talked about all of the things that I wanted to talk about Kuwait, took all the pictures with all the things that I wanted. Thank you for my stuff.
Oh, sure. I'm glad you like it. I'm very happy. I got presents for everyone. I was a veritable...
Everyone? Well, now I don't feel special at all.
well, they were all different presents, certainly. But now I'm a Chris Kuwait goal. Chris Kringwait. I don't know what the fuck. Who's Santa in Kuwait? I got no idea. I should have asked Ahmad if they had those. Huh?
The Kuwaiting is the hardest part.
I think we've done that every single
all
week.
of them.
Yeah, probably. So, what was the story you wanted to know about? I don't even fucking remember at this point.
You finally went. You got
To
the
Kuwait?
summons and you finally went. No, that story is the one I want.
Oh, the fucking court. God damn it. Oh, you know what? All right, so here's the thing. I talked about this last week where I told people I was going because I was going the next morning. So, Wednesday night, I finished recording. By the time the show's put to bed, it's like 2:30. And I got to be up at 7:30. So, and then I do all the Facebook stuff and all that. And then Chris Cruz is a friend of the show. She writes something to me on the page. So I, of course, have to answer her because, I answer everybody in a timely fashion. Well, no, because you know why?
If you can avoid something.
Well, because she caught me on air. That was the thing. It's like she knew I was up, so she wrote me something. So I had to fucking answer her because otherwise you're just a dickbag at that point if you don't. So, and she's in fucking France. So she's got the fucking home field advantage on me. It's already like 11:30. She's had four cafe au laits and a fucking croissant. She's probably run 2 marathons at that point. And she's like, "Oh, Mike Schmidt's up. Hello." God damn it. And I enjoy talking to Casey. When I was there, her husband and she and her husband took me to dinner in Portland after the Warrior Dash, which was 3 years ago this week or last week. when I almost died, and our good friend Rich Galvin saved me, who now no longer listens to the show and actually hates me actively, which is interesting. It's a long story. Yeah, I did something dumb. I won't lie. Rich Galvin was like this. He was a huge fan of mine. He was a very cool guy and a friend. I mean, I liked him a lot. He came to see me a few times in Portland. Kristen was his wife, and they're great people. And then he was writing me, and he was writing me a lot. And I kind of stepped in with like, hey, dude, I did something. Again, regardless, it doesn't matter. I wrote him a note that was like a scolding note. And he was like, fuck, I'll leave you alone, dude. And he did. And he doesn't like the show anymore. He doesn't listen anymore. And I don't fucking blame him at all, because like he literally had reached out to me and we were friends, and he fucking saved my ass in a Portland forest. And the reason this came up is because this past week I saw the photo, like, on Facebook, they do this on this day bullshit. And he was in the artwork. Fucking Rich was in the artwork. He was actually painted into the artwork. And I was like, that guy was just a fan. And I wrote him a note and I was like, hey man, like some dumb bullshit. And I was just like, yeah, you shouldn't fucking do that. And he's like, fine, I won't. I'm done. See you later. And he did. I don't know what the fuck I did. Then at the time it seemed completely logical what I did. And I'm not going to get into it because whatever the fuck. But the note I wrote at that point seemed to me to be something that was like logical. But the more I thought about it, I was just like, dude, why the fuck would you? Because again, I don't write anybody. And then I choose to write the one guy who fucking loves me and tell him, hey, don't do that. It's fucking stupid. Hey, you know what email I'm going to write this year? The one that burns a longtime fan's relationship with me. That's going to be fantastic.
Well, again, fans and friends is a crossover that can be an awkward situation at times.
Yes. There's no doubt about that.
Yes,
but I don't want I don't want it to be weird. Well, yes, but it did get weird. Okay. But the thing is,
and you acknowledged that it was weird, and you're allowed to do that, and then it got bad.
Well, yes, because I doubled down on the weird. Okay. Like if I had just been like, hey, dude, you know what I mean? But instead I came it from this weird authoritarian point of view, like, and again, without filling in a lot of the lines here, you guys, it was weird, and then I made it weirder. And he said, see you later. And he left a cloud of dust and he disappeared. And then as I thought, like I said at the time, I was like, well, Jesus, he's fucking weird. Well, that's crazy sensitive. And then, I thought about it like it was a week ago. I literally saw that artwork even a couple days ago. And I went, fuck, man. Whatever. Because this show, I try to make everybody part of the community. And I reach out to them and I try to make them friends and all that sort of thing. And to do, but at the same time, at the time, what I did was I felt justified.
You need to have balance in everything, and you're allowed to have boundaries, whether it's your lover or a listener. You're allowed to have boundaries.
I don't have any boundaries.
Okay. So
I'm listening to you. You're right. But what I'm saying is I was the one who doubled down on it and made it. I guess I tried to establish a boundary, but I did it in a fucking snooty way. In the more I think about it.
One of those where it's like, hey, I have an issue with you. Well, I have an issue with you too, so let's talk about all of that, and then everything gets unloaded, and then the next thing you know, someone's dead, and it started out as a fight, and the next thing you know, the whole city's burning to the ground.
No, it was more, hey man, I like you. No, man, you're awesome. No, you're really awesome. No, you're really awesome. And it was like, hey, stop telling me how fucking awesome I am, all right? And he went, all right, man, see you later.
Okay.
Sort of like that. And it was, and the funny thing is, like, Kristen, like, he unfriended me, like, he fucking disappeared, and I do not blame him, because he was a man being told by another man, don't do that, with a finger wag like a dumb fuck. And at the time, like I said, I thought it was a smart thing to do, and I know this is vague as fuck for all of you.
It's vague. I think it makes sense.
Well, again, he did something, and then I kind of stepped in and was like, dude, don't. And then he was like, fine. And he didn't. And then he disappeared. And I'm.
Well, you say it all the time. You're a fan until you're not.
Kind of, you know what? That's exactly what eventually I will say the thing.
You're a friend until you're not.
Yeah, but I tried.
That's personal relationships of,
Yeah, but I could have handled it better. And this is all part of the growth.
Send him flowers.
This is all part of the growth process.
It's been 3 years, and I was thinking about you. Can we be podcaster and fan again?
Hey,
that's not awkward.
Hey, excuse me. Am I still awesome? No, really. I mean, you used to think I was really awesome, and you told me that, and then I was like, hey man, don't tell me I'm so awesome. Could you tell me I'm awesome again? Because like a lot less people think I'm awesome now. And you really used to think I was awesome, so maybe if you thought I was awesome again, more people would get on board with my awesomeness. Or your awesomeness could take the place of the 4,000 awesome people I've lost. Because that's where this listenership went in this fucking show. As far because again, who knows? It all changed over the years. I used to get one number from iTunes, I get another number from these people, I get another number for the RSS feed, and now it's like you look at the numbers and I'm like, you know what happened? It's as if all of my listeners were in the World Trade Center and it went down, and I lost all of them pretty much. Not all of them. I mean, I lost the chunk I lost was who died in the fucking Trade Center. Whatever the fuck, who cares? That's an analogy I wanted to bring up. So whatever. Anyway, it's this week too. That's a good time to do it. Anyway, I went to court.
Yes, tell me about court.
I had to go last week I was being sued by Cocksucker, as you all know. I will not say his name, although I think I said it the first week when I did it. I may have used his name because I had to, because it was a good enough joke within his name that I had to say it. But I won't say it again. My court appearance was at 8:30 in the morning in Van Nuys, but I was advised by my insurance consigliere, my insurance lawyer, my insurance muscle. He was like, "Hey, dude, you should get there at 8." And I said, "Fantastic." So I woke up in time after I answered Casey's inquiries from the fucking Champs-Elysees and grabbed a shower, got dressed, went over, and then I stole as much sleep as I could. I am not shaved, by the way. I'll tell you that. I've got kind of a beard thing happening right now. The last time I shaved was the last day I was in Kuwait. And I'll tell this story. Why the fuck not? The last day we were in Kuwait, there was like all this shit I wanted to do. Like it had come to a head, and I've got more stuff to talk about Kuwait. I have not talked to Ahmad since I left. I'm starting to feel like he didn't really like me. I'm hurting. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I want to reach out to him because he was in America. Like a week later, not a word. He could have actually texted me, and it wouldn't have cost him more. He was in Philadelphia. He could have texted me and said, "Hey, Mike, I'm in Philadelphia, thinking of you." Nope. Came to town, ate our food, bathed in our sun, smelled our American air. I never crossed his mind once. I think Ahmad broke up with me. Anyway. Don't cry out loud. Anyway. So, sail on down the line, half a mile or so. What if I just did that? Breakup songs. Doesn't matter. All right. So I want to sing Sail On so bad. Because I didn't tell you this. Ahmad and I we both love Lionel Richie. We found that out late on the beach in Kuwait as we watched fireworks. There weren't any physical fireworks.
Oh, shit.
We just saw them. Maybe I just felt them. Doesn't matter. All right. So I had to go to court. And, it's Kuwait. So dude, so get this. So we're trying to figure out all this bullshit that we're going to do on the last day that I'm in town. And he picks me up at the hotel, and then he takes me out to a beach house. Not a beach house. It's not like I'm big pussy and this is a hit. He fucking took me to his beach house. Jesus Christ. They took me out on a fucking flotilla, and they shot me in the face. And those fireworks. All right, so he took me out to the beach house, and he's like, "All right, man, let's head out here." And that's by the direct quote from Ahmad. Why do I have to fucking add flowery language? And then he's like, "We're going to go here, and we're going to visit this place, and we're going to look." And I go, "All right, I need to do these things. I have this list of stuff that I want to do before we take off." And he tried his best. We did our best to fucking fulfill it. And but at one point, I had told him, I said, "Hey, man, I want to go like to a barbershop and have a guy shave me with like a sickle or whatever the fuck you guys use." And he's like, "It's weird that you would say that." He goes, "Because I go to a barbershop and they do like a shaving thing, but it's like, it's bizarre. Like it's really weird how they do it. I can't even explain it." I said, "Well, I'm in. If it's fucking weird and bizarre and I'm in the Middle East, of course I'm doing it. I don't give a fuck." Because, I mean, I should tell you that we went to a mall and I don't know if I told this story. I got to tell you, because doing a non-linear show and just kind of taking piecemeal from the other fucking things, it sucks. We went to a giant mall and we wound up eating at a churrasco with the fucking, where they bring the meat on. Like I told you, I don't want a fucking meat puzzle. Just bring me a goddamn meal. Well, the guys we were with, Khalid and Abdullah, they ordered churrasco. So they got the meat sliced off, and Ahmed got a salad, and I got a camel burger.
Of course you did.
Well, because they had camel. That was the reason those guys brought me there. And then they brought it to me. And now, again, I've told so many this fucking story, so many people. I don't know if I've told it here on the show, but they brought the fucking camel burger. It was awful, dude. You know what it tasted like? Fucking camel. No, just camel is so dry, they have to cook the fuck out of it to make sure it even stays together in patty form. And I was like, just cut some fat off the hump and I'll fucking eat that. I don't care. Just give me something with some flavor. But dude, it was fucking disgusting. And you wouldn't have even known it was camel. Like, I mean, it didn't taste like the desert. I mean, there was nothing to it. It was just like fucking, it was just a dry fucking burger that they fucked me with. So I was like, whatever. But then the dudes, the churrasco dudes, they kept coming with the meat puzzle. And the funny thing is they would cut it onto the guys' plates and the guys would give me pieces of it. I go, God, it says right on the fucking menu.
Don't share.
No sharing, Yankee. Because they knew I was there. I was American. I was a Gaijin. No sharing, Gaijin. But then the fucking waiters would come by and they were Indians and they would look at me and they'd go, dude, do you want some meat puzzle? And I'd be like, I don't fucking sure. And they'd chop it up onto my plate and they just fed me. And finally, like the fourth dude came over and fed me some pork face or whatever the fuck, and he bailed. And Ahmad looks at me and I go, hey, Ahmed, why the fuck? Why are they feeding me? He goes, because you're American. They like you. You're nice. I'm sure they don't see a lot of Americans. So, and I was like, fuck. All right. I'd fucking be 800 pounds if I lived in this country. Everybody give me free shit. Free meat puzzle? I'm in. Sign me up for the Middle East.
And yet we supposedly are at war with a lot of them.
Hey, dude, don't get me started. That I know I've talked about in here. It's all horseshit.
So
It's all horseshit.
Yeah.
I told you, I talked to these dudes. They go to college. They fucking work jobs. They listen to Iron Maiden. You know what I mean? They don't fucking, they don't give a shit. He told me, he's like, 72 Virgins is a joke. All that, we hate ISIS too. Now look, this could have been an elaborate prank to get me to come over here and do some sort of fucking Tokyo Rose bullshit and convince everybody they were fine. And then they sneak over and all of a sudden it's fucking Red Dawn. That would not be good. But who knows? I'll be a witting pawn for free churrasco. Why the fuck not? You want to give me free fucking meat puzzle? I'll clear the way for you to invade this entire fucking country. Why not? So he's like, we'll go get this fucking thing done at the barbershop. So we go in, and I got to tell you, look, their country is not clean. I mean, it's sort of clean. It's just that there's so much sand and dust, and they don't care so much. Like they seem perfectly content with rubble, which is fucking bizarre to me. Like, if you see rubble here, you're like, we better call somebody to clean up that rubble. They're just like, oh, look, there's rubble. Let's park. You know what I mean? It's like there's no touchstone whatsoever because there's so much damage in so many dry places and there's no grass. It's just fucking, it's weird looking, but it's fucking awesome. I mean, it was amazingly different, but the same, as I talked about a couple of shows before. So he told me, he's like, hey man, we'll go to this barbershop. And I walk in, and it's a barbershop in a mall, which is fucking weird to me. Everything's in a mall there because they have to control the temperature or you'll explode. So we walk into this barbershop and like, and dude, their fucking blue juice isn't blue. I think it was white with some red in it. And I was like, is that blood? Like, what the fuck happened to somebody here? Because they got all the shit in there, but they don't. I know they have blue over there. The Kuwaiti fucking national soccer team wears blue, but their blue juice is not blue. It's not. So that threw me
Our
off.
blue juice isn't blue either. They make it blue.
No.
Yes, I worked in a salon.
Why do they
There's
make?
no reason for it to be blue. It was blue so that as the color fades, you need to replace it. Visually, it was that's good, that's good, that's good kind of thing. Sorry.
Son of a bitch.
Soap doesn't have to actually be bubbly either.
You see what you're missing, Rich Galvin? You could have learned all this shit. You took a goddamn powder because of me and my nonsense. Take that, buddy. Blue juice and soap knowledge, man. You fucking lost it.
Oh.
And everybody who stuck around has it. Kristen, if you're listening still, which you're probably not, just walk by Rich and go, yeah, I learned about blue juice on the 40-year-old boy. He's going to go, blue juice? What the heck's that? I don't know. If you listened, you'd know. Anyway. I heard it on the 4th show we recorded yesterday, so. Because that's still happening. So we go into this barbershop, and it is just, like when I go to visit Natalie here, when she goes to do my hair, I don't take a shower beforehand. Because I know she can wash my hair, and then if she wants to, but usually she doesn't. She just fucking squirts the shit out of it, and then she'll say, "You want product there?" And I go, "No, I'm going home, getting right in the shower." And it's like, all right, cool. So she'll just cut it and shave it. Because I mean, I don't, she doesn't need to wash it anyway. She's just shaving the side with the fucking Zero Guard. So, but it's still a clean place, even with hair all over the ground and stuff. And it's just it just looks everywhere you walk, like you walk into this joint and it was this dark, it was bright white, all of it. You're under that fluorescent light where nobody looks good. Everybody looks ill. So it was me and Ahmed and Yasser. And Yasser goes, hey, this is the place I've gotten my haircut since I was 6 years old. I was like, that's fucking horrifying. I mean, no offense, Yasser, it shows. I'm not going to lie to you. You're a cool guy and you're real laid back and everything, but you should be sitting for your 5th grade photo, quite frankly, with that haircut. And you're Kuwait American, so half of you know your hair looks like shit. So that made me laugh. So he's like, we go in there and he goes to get a haircut. So I sit down in the chair and the guy doesn't speak much English, or at least he decides not to engage with me. But Ahmed tells him, hey, do this, do that, whatever. So they don't do anything to me. They don't put any water in my hair. They don't fucking wet my face. They don't do anything. He's going to give me a shave. Okay. So I'm anticipating. Now here, when you get a shave done, it's a whole fucking fetish trip, man. I mean, you lean back. They put a scalding hot fucking towel on your face. It's fucking amazing. Then they put, sour cream. They put sour cream all over your face. Lick that off. Then cream cheese. Lick that off. Then whipped cream. Lick that off. And by that time, you're wet enough for the shaving cream. And then they said hot fucking towel, so get your pores working. And they put fucking shaving cream on, and then you done. You're finished. Shaved. Awesome. And then they throw a little fucking mint on you and a little Old Bay. Not Old Bay, fucking Club Man. Put a little Old Bay seasoning on you so your face smells like a clam bake. Oh my God, that's awesome. So they season you up and they're like, all right, on your way, sir. That's what happens here in America. It's fantastic. And it's always like $30 or whatever the fuck. Well, this dude goes to cut my hair and cut my face. He lays back and Ahmed tells him, he's like, whatever the fuck, do the weird thing. Basically, that's what it was. I don't know what Kuwaiti is for do the weird thing, but Ahmed said it. I lean back. So he told me they take a string and they wrap it around their fingers and they do stuff. And I don't even know what the fuck to expect. So I lean back and this guy, he's old. And I mean, he just looks half blind. And I'm like, I'm not letting this guy get near me with a fucking razor. Piece of string I can live with. So what he does is he takes what essentially is like a piece of dental floss. Do you know what I'm going to say here? Because you keep nodding.
So.
He wraps it around his fingers and then wraps it around my face and goes, shoo, and they tighten it. And when it does it, it pulls my hair out of my face.
Yeah, it's called threading.
Threading. Okay, then you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I got no fucking clue.
You with threading?
They shaved me with threading, Lily.
How long did this take?
Well, dude, here's the thing. He starts doing it and I go, oh, fuck. And then I didn't mind flinching because I know it's a piece of string. It's not going to cut my fucking head off. Yeah. So he does it a couple more times. And I go, fuck, what are you, dude? What are you? And I can just hear Ahmed laughing behind me. I go, what the fuck is going on? And he just goes, what? And I go, dude, I didn't even, fuck. And the guy just keeps doing it while I'm bitching. Yeah. And Ahmed, I go, are you filming this? He goes, yes. And I go, of course you are. Why wouldn't you be? And so then I go, dude, sir, why are you doing this? Why do you do it like it's And he wouldn't even talk to me. I go, could you possibly use a lighter? A lighter would probably work. How about a helicopter? You got one of those? You can just plunge it into my face. And so they took string and they shaved me with. All they did was rip hair out of my face.
How long did it take?
Well, dude, he only did up here.
Yes.
He only did my cheeks.
And have you noticed that it's never coming back? You'll have about 6 weeks before it comes back.
That's not coming back the way it did.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do with eyebrows. It's a threading to pluck. They're literally plucking the hair out at the bulb.
Well, they did it to my face.
Yeah.
To my face. So he did it to my cheeks, but not my neck because my neck is
all of this area in here so that you don't have to deal with it.
Right. So you can kind of tell like my beard I haven't shaved.
Your beard has grown in, but this is
not happening. Yeah. So it's bizarre looking.
And how many weeks now?
3, 4. Yeah.
You're just now finally getting a little bit of hair back. Right?
Yeah.
You're just now finally getting.
It's bananas. Yeah. So, but so he filmed it. So I mean, maybe I'll put that on the Joker's page.
How long you were there? 15 minutes? 18 minutes?
Well, yeah, but wait, I'm not done.
But I mean, for the threading part.
The threading was 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're tearing my fucking face, and I kept going, fuck, dude, fuck, why, fuck. It was so weird. He had no idea what I was saying, but he knew I was flinching. And they're just, they're laughing their balls off. They think it's fucking hysterical. I'm like, and it was just like the yogurt drink. They tricked me into drinking this stuff called Lebon. And they're like, it's yogurt. So I drank it thinking it was fucking sweet. And it just tasted like milk filled with chalk. I mean, it was just fucking disgusting with vinegar. And I almost spit. I swallowed the mouthful. I'm like, fuck, dude. And then they laughed. And like I said, I think they got me to that country just so they could shave me with dental floss and make me drink fake yogurt. Like, I mean, that's it. That was what the whole thing was.
Kudos, guys.
Good for you, Ahmed. It worked. So then the dude threaded my face, whatever the fuck. And then he takes like dry powder. Like he put that on my face. And
Powder.
Yeah. Like, because I mean, and I told you, like Johnny Shuffles, who used to live here, he was a black dude, because black dudes get sensitive skin, a lot of them, and so they use that quite a bit. Yeah. And I've seen the aftermath of it. It's just like your face looks like fucking Ray Liotta got punched. I mean, it's just fucking nightmarish. Literally, you ever see that old fucking show where the man in the moon, like the moon, the rocket plunges into his eye, and he's like, oh, yeah, you look like that, man. Fucking terrible. So this dude's shaving me with the powder, and then he's kind of putting water on my face, but to mix with the powder, and he's shaving it up. Yeah. And I got my eyes closed. I'm just going to fucking get through this and not look. I don't even want to know what the fuck's going on. So then they're having the negotiation of what to do to my face. It's like when I was in New York, because, my facial hair, I have a goatee, but then it goes up, it crawls up my jawline. But it has to stop at a certain point, whatever the fuck. So in New York, remember the guy was just like, well, what do I do? How do I do this? I'm like, don't fuck it up. Please don't go too close, or don't, because I'm panicky. Yeah. Well, I had to tell him, I'm like, stop here. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, he wanted to take it all the way down. I go, no, here, just here. I said, you can see where it's thicker. Just stop there. And then Ahmad's trying to fucking translate for me. I keep calling him Ahmad and Ahmed. Why do I fucking keep spinning it up? There's a 7 in there. There is, absolutely. Which means he told me it's pronounced like Ahmad. So he puts the powder in there and he shaves me. And then he puts like an oily fragrance, and then he shaves with that. Yeah. Then he takes apricot scrub and he fills his hands with it, and he rubs my face for like 8 minutes. I mean, dude, and here's the thing. None of it is hot. Everything he's putting on me is cold or room temperature, and it just feels gross, but it also feels great because it was crunchy scrub, and he's like, and he fucking scrubbed the shit out of my face, which he had just threaded and shaved. So, I mean, when I'm finished, I'm just a fucking skeleton. I mean, literally, there's nothing left. There's no skin on my face, but he's scrubbing it the fuck off. And then he put 2 more sauces on me. Like, he's just like, I was just a salsa bar at that point. I mean, he's just pouring shit on my fucking face. And it worked. It was good for him. So he's doing that. He's putting it all over, and then it finally finishes. And it was a clean as hell shave. I mean, it was really close. It was really good, and he did a perfect job in the thing. But initially, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing to my head?" And I have a video of me getting threaded, so I'll post that. But
yes, please do.
Well, there's a picture of me first, just kind of like making a face, like, "What the fuck's about to happen here?" And then the video of him just fucking tearing my face apart with a piece of fucking string. Brutal.
Yeah. Do you know that women do that to their vaginas?
Well, I mean, look.
All for your pleasure.
They thread it?
All for your viewing pleasure.
Why don't you just wax it?
They do waxing. They do all of that.
Well, wax it. I'm familiar with that.
Threading breaks less hair usually is the theory.
Okay.
So it pulls it out from the root, so it takes longer for your root to redevelop and grow the hair out again, and it comes in softer, as opposed to cutting, which comes in and it feels rough when it comes in again. So it stays smoother longer.
Good Lord.
I
Ladies,
for a living, I hated it.
I hear you. We really, really like your vaginas. You don't have to do all that stuff.
I agree.
I agree. But I mean, it's always nice that you do. I'm a fan. I like a bare floor. We've talked about this. Yeah, no, because I just stare into a vagina like it's a magic eye and find the boat. God damn it.
Find the boat.
I find the guy in it.
I literally have a Titanic down there.
Do you really? Oh my God. Leo DiCaprio hanging off the edge of it.
It's a half sunk the entire time, and there are just people screaming, running from it.
Let me ask you this. Is it a Titanic because 1,500 men went down on it?
Yes, it is. Thank you. Can I steal that for my one-woman show?
Please do. And please tell them what I've been doing for 30 seconds.
Well, he's been doing the stew look.
You're goddamn right. Look at us, comedy team. All right, so.
I really want to know what happened when you did court, though. I have to leave in like 6 minutes.
No, you don't.
I do. I'm already past when I was supposed to leave. I wrote them and said I'd be 30 minutes late.
But you can't, because that's when Dougie Fresh is on. On.
Please just tell me about going to court.
So I was going to shave that morning, but I slept as much as I possibly could. So I stayed in and I slept and I did that. And then I got up and I was like, oh man, I should shave. Because again, I didn't want to leave it in the hands of the judges. I didn't want to go in and some guy's like, well, you didn't respect my courtroom enough to go ahead and shave. Guilty. You know, I didn't want any of that bullshit to happen. But I was late or not late. I was on time. It's just I decided to sleep longer because I spent my shaving time typing away with somebody in France. So, but that's not on you, Casey. Certainly it is. So I didn't shave. I got showered and dressed and I went to the courthouse. I showed up. There was a parking spot. And you want to hear the best fucking thing I've ever done in my life? Here's how much of a genius I am. And that's a lot of setup. But there are meters. There's meters outside of the courthouse. And there were meters that were 2-hour meters and meters that were 4-hour meters and meters that were 10-hour meters. So I grabbed a 10-hour meter and for 4 hours, it was $3.50. For 10 hours, it was $4. Now, he told me I would probably be in court for 2 to 3 hours, which meant I could get away with a 3-hour buy. Nope. I said, fuck it. It's 50 cents, dude. What are you going to, who cares? Spend the 50 cents, spend $4 and park. So I did. I bought the whole 10. And it's funny, I didn't realize the last time I went to the courthouse to get the postponement, I parked at one of those and had like 6 hours left. And I was like, ha 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 ha, stupid. And I made fun of the person who left the 6 hours. When in reality, I should admire them because they bought the 10 and then got out of there within 4. Good for them. Yep. So I go to the courthouse. I go upstairs and, I was in room P or whatever the fuck. I went through the metal detector and I go up to the court and let me tell you this about courthouses, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you this about court. Now, I've talked about this before on like 3 other episodes when I had to go for jury duty twice and I was picked and I was a foreman of a goddamn jury. Which it's funny, now that I think about it, as I get away from that story and I think of it in my past, that's kind of fucking cool. Yes. Like, I mean, and I was voted foreman. Like, they picked me. That was pretty neat. It wasn't Johnny Bravo either. There was no foreman suit that I had to fucking squeeze into. They were like, no, man, this guy's the guy. So as I tell people that story, everybody's fascinated. They're like, oh my God, that's great. I've never even been summoned for jury duty. I'm like, I got called fucking 3 times and twice once I almost got picked for a murder trial. The other one I was a foreman on a fucking Asian squatter trial.
Which, by the way, sounds like a sex act.
The Asian squatter trial? But you know what's weird? The Trials of the Asian Squatter, my second favorite Hardy Boys novel. The Trials of the Asian Squatter. Gong. So I get there and I'm waiting outside and it is just this. There were so many poor people there with sad faces. I thought I was at an Uber meeting. That's how bad it was. It was just people who were miserable already. I mean, I got there at 8 a.m. It's already miserable. So there's only like 8 people and I'm like, fuck, thank God. I'm going to get in and the fuck out of here. It's going to be fantastic. So I'm standing there looking at everybody. And I realize I'm the smartest guy there, so I may be the judge. And I have my laptop with me because in case it's fucking slow. And I brought my documents because he's like, here's the diagram of the accident. Here's all the damages. Here's the statement from your witness. Bring that, please. So I brought it. And I started texting him because I go, if you're here, I don't know where you are. I'm hoping to God, because again, he's my court-appointed, my insurance company-appointed lawyer/muscle. I'm just surrounded by poverty, and I'm like, please don't let this guy be one of these schmucks. I mean, if he's got this hangdog beaten down look, because I'm kind of counting on him to be the guy. You know what I mean? He's gonna, because I'll do my part, but I don't know what I'm expected to do. So I need to have this guy kind of Sherpa me through it. So he texts me. He's like, no, man, I'm just parking. It's kind of a madhouse down here. And as it gets closer to 8:30, the hallway starts filling up. There were 8 people. Now all of a sudden there's like 40. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And there's a bunch of different courtrooms, but they have people in front of them too. And I'm like, well, I'm obviously this is my lot in life. These are the people. And then I see him, cocksucker. He shows up. Now you might ask, how did I recognize cocksucker immediately? Well, because he's wearing the exact same outfit he wore the day we got into the fight. He's wearing cargo shorts, a gray t-shirt, a baseball hat, and tennis shoes with socks up over his ankles. He looks as if he parked down at the courthouse and paid for the meter over and over since December, waiting for court to start. He looks exactly the same. So he doesn't make eye contact with me, but he's walking in circles. That's another reason why I noticed him, because he's walking. He's completely antsy. You can tell he doesn't know what to do with himself. So then Daryl shows up, my court dude, and he walks up and he starts talking to me, and he says, "All right, did you bring your paperwork?" And I go, "I did." And he goes, "Oh, I'm happy because I brought it too, but I'm glad you listened." And because he'd been sending me emails that were like, "Here, bring this. Here's this. Please come here. Be here at this time." And I did all of what I was told. I will tell you this: I am the only person in the history of small claims court to do what he was told. Because I looked around at these people, and there's loose leaf binders and trapper keepers dropping papers all over the ground. There's someone who built a diorama of their garage. You know what I mean? It's just, you're like, I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I know it's not going to be good for me getting out of here in any sort of fucking quality amount of time. So Daryl starts talking to me, and he gives me the lowdown of what we're going to do. He goes, "Here's what we need to do. We need to go get that guy. We need to get Cocksucker, and we need to bring him over. And the way it works is there's disclosure. So he shows us what he has on us. We show him what we have on him. And then we talk about possibly resolving the case. Now, he's suing you. So he's probably not going to want to resolve anything. But we ask him, just because. And honestly, because we have a statement from someone who saw him cause everything, we're not interested in settling anything either. But this is the way it works. This is the dance. And the more Daryl talks to me, the more he explains everything, I realize I'm no longer the smartest guy in the room.
Good.
This guy, because he told me, he goes, "Look, here's exactly how it's going to go. We're going to do this. They're going to do discovery. They're going to do this at 8:30. The judge is going to come in. There's going to be a lot of stuff." And he's got this shit on fucking lockdown, man. He knows exactly what's happening and when and why and how. So he goes through and he sits me down, and they go to open the courtroom at 8:30. He goes, "We don't really have to go in there at 8:30. He said, "We can, but they're just going to call roll around 8:45, 9 o'clock, and then the judge will come in." He goes, "Everything, you're waiting to stand still at this entire process." So I said, "All right." We go in there quarter to 9, and they're not even calling roll yet. They're not. Finally, there's a bailiff, and she's a little crotchety, I won't lie. And then there's a woman who's like a little secretary chick. So she starts to call roll, and as they call cases, they call the plaintiff and the defendant. Well, sometimes only the plaintiff answers, the defendant doesn't. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? What does that mean? They finally get to me and him, and we both say we're here. And Daryl keeps leaving. He goes, "Look, you can hang out in here, and that's cool." He goes, "But I'm going to be on my phone and doing work all day. So I'll be with you when they do call us, and I'll be here a lot, but I'm going to be in and out." I said, "Great. You can't use your phone in the courtroom."
Right.
What'd you say?
Right. You can't use your phone in the courtroom.
Oh, you said right? You can't use your phone in the courtroom? You and I are the only people in the world who realize that. Did you know that?
Of course.
It's interesting you would say right, because, I was in a courtroom full of people who were told several times, "Hey, you can't use your phone." You know what they did? They used their fucking phones. Whether they're texting or they're surfing or they're checking their email or what, and they would get told, and every time they'd get told, they'd make a face like, and then they put their phone away for 4 minutes. And then when the bailiff would turn around, they'd pull it back out. I'm sitting in my sophomore year English class, and everybody's passing fucking notes, except they're doing it electronically with people who aren't on site. And I left my phone in my bag because I felt every time the bailiff had to say something bad to somebody, the judge went, "Well, I'm going to sit in my office for 34 more seconds." He was going to let them all fucking be tamed before he came out to experience court. So she kept, but all day, put your phone away. She's like fucking Caesar the jury whisperer. It's like, what the fuck, man? So he finally makes his grandiose entrance. And there was no all rise. Just when he came in, he just goes, "Hello, everybody. I'm judge, whatever the fuck." And he sits down. And Daryl is outside. So I now realize I am still the second smartest person in the room once the judge comes out, because he pontificates. I mean, in just the weirdest blowhard fashion. He just starts talking, and he's explaining the jury process and the courtroom and how things work in small claims, and not everybody's going to be happy with the way things turn out. But that's not how life works, because sometimes there's a winner, or there's always a winner and there's a loser, and sometimes you're the winner and sometimes you're the loser. And you have to take that to heart, and you have to look at it as, well, we did our best and we did what we could. I mean, he's giving this unbelievable simplification of the law speech. And I realize he has to, because half these fucking people are picking tomatoes if they're not in goddamn courtrooms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, they call it small claims court. You really could throw out another word for small is petty. You should just throw the small out and call it petty claims court, because the small indicates like it could be tiny, like a lesser amount.
Yeah.
No, go with petty, because every fucking claim in the building was petty. It was groups of people who, and of course nobody's ever done anything wrong in their lives, and everyone's got their side of the story, and Daryl keeps popping in and out, and I'm sitting there waiting for information. I'm waiting, to get called, and it becomes 10, and it becomes 10:30, and it becomes 10:45, and it becomes 11, and here was what would bog it down. I've talked about this place called Corner Cottage. It's a place that has fucking fantastic breakfast burritos. You'll go wait in line. There'll be like 8 guys in line because they're always swamped. Well, there'll be like 8 people in line ahead of you. You're like, fuck, fine, let's blaze through this. And then you'll get to the thing, and the guy in front of you will go, okay, I need 14 ham burritos. I need 15 bacon burritos, because he's buying for an entire construction site.
Yep.
And now you're fucked, because now they're going to make 34 burritos just for that fucking guy. Well, that's how it is in the courtroom. When they would call a plaintiff and they'd call a defendant, they would approach, the plaintiff would show up, and if there's no defendant, they would say, all right, you versus Marcellus Wallace. And, which is really weird that Marcellus would be in small claims court. Because he was being sued by a pawn shop owner for apparently doing some damage in his establishment. And then that case gets thrown out because his main witness, Butch, I think was the guy's name, has lost his LA privileges and he's not even in town. It made me too. So whatever. So what it is, it's like a dry cleaner or whatever the fuck, or a waste management system, and they have 10 people they're suing, but none of them show up. But they still have to call each case, go over the case. Did you serve the person? Where did you serve them? What was the address? I mean, all this fucking mumbo jumbo, technical, legal bullshit. And he would say, well, it says here that their address is apartment Q. Did you go to apartment Q? And he goes, well, we tried to gain access to the premises and we instead left it in a mailbox. So you never physically handed this to anyone. And well, no, eventually the person came out and we were able to serve them, but not the first time. I'm being shown here that it was. I mean, all of that legalese garbage.
Yeah.
And this judge,
it's not garbage. It's making sure that it's fair.
I understand, but when there's so much of it in a row and you're ankle deep in it, it's just fucking garbage, because, look, I expect more from businesses. If you're going to serve somebody, fucking serve them. But he's expecting people. Like he'd say, hey, did you serve this guy? And we're like, I don't know. We told the court to serve him. And they're like, well, that's not good enough. We know, we're showing here that he might not have. Well, he's very hard to find, Your Honor. And well, then what the fuck are you even here wasting everybody's time? You know what you should be doing? Finding that guy. Go find him. Hand him a piece of paper. What the fuck? So terrible. So then they fucking, like the second person is suing Donald Sterling. Donald Sterling. You remember him? Used to own the Los Angeles Clippers. Billionaire slumlord Donald Sterling. He did not show up in court, surprisingly. But this Asian woman was suing him because apparently he had evicted her from her apartment, and then they took her stuff, but she got it back, but it was like a week later and something was broken, and so she wants payment for this lamp. I mean, dude, just the pettiest of the petty claims. There was a tear in my undershorts. Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? And look, I understand the little guy needs to be championed. You can't just get run over and steamrolled, but if you're taking fucking Donald Sterling to small claims court for $1,100, good fucking luck. Because honestly, he wiped his ass with $2,000 bills this morning. Why don't you just go stand around a septic tank and try to fish it the fuck out? I honestly had that thought in my head where I was sitting there going, you're suing Donald Sterling. He's literally right now eating caviar out of a fish pussy. Like, I mean, he's so rich right now. He's in Russia fucking a child because he paid somebody $100,000 to make it happen. And he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's like an American oligarch. He's fucking crazy. That dude spends more in hair coloring a week than you're trying to get out of him for your busted fucking lamp. And part of me wishes he would have just come in and said, hey, shut up, chink, and left, because that's who he is as a guy.
Did he lose for not showing?
No, because she had not filled it out properly and they had not served him properly. She sued Donald T. Sterling, but not his LLC or his company, his umbrella company. She had listed 5 companies and him, but not the one that happened to own the building she lived in. And then they're like, was Donald Sterling served? She goes, I don't know. I can't find him. He's rich, Your Honor. And he's like, yes, I know, but that's why you need to get a process server and you need to do something like that and you're just going, man, it is just poor people getting picked off. And with this monolithic justice system that you can't, again, just like I said, when I went to the fucking jury duty, it just grinds to a fucking halt. And another problem is nobody does what they're supposed to do. Yeah. Nobody serves the right guy. Nobody itemizes their claim. Nobody brings receipts. They just fucking walk in because they've all been raised on Judge fucking Judy in the people's court, and they think she's going to go, oh, well, just hand me that manila folder. And the judge will just make a ruling in 15 minutes. That's not it, man. That's not it at all. It's just fucking plodding and plotting and plotting, and you're sitting there waiting and waiting, watching people fuck up their own case, fuck up their own lives, not be prepared. And a judge is, and then even worse, the way I put it to Daryl, I go, look, I get why this judge is doing this. Because he literally, he asked 1,000 questions for every case. And I went, this is his hell. So he's going to make it as entertaining as he possibly can. I asked Daryl, because I go, dude, does this guy want to be a small claims guy so he can be a big fish in a small pond? Or do they, and he started laughing. He goes, no. Because he had told me, he goes, this guy's kind of long-winded, so get ready for that. And it was terrible. So at the first break, he gave us a 5-minute break at like 11 o'clock, and we went out in the hallway, and I go, what the fuck is going on here, Daryl? And he goes, it's pretty brutal. And I go, how do you do it? I go, look, I don't mean to question what you do for a living. I don't mean to question who you are as a man. But holy God, how can you do this day after day? He goes, I do it in 7 different courtrooms all over the state. It's terrible. He goes, you just see it. He goes, I don't know how much longer I have doing this. I go, you're a really smart guy. I mean, you came in prepared, and I guess it's from doing this as much as you possibly did, but you made me feel completely comfortable and at ease, and you made me feel that no matter what was going to happen, it was going to be okay and we were going to win because I had you here with me. I go, I look at all of these other people, and none of them have that privilege because they all brought their fat daughter who carried the wastebasket that somebody put a dent in. You know what I mean? Like, fucking awful. And he liked me because he's laughing, and he's like, I got to be honest with you. He goes, you brought the paperwork. Nobody ever brings the paperwork. I tell people to get here at 8 o'clock. They're usually running up here at 8:45 going, did I miss it? He goes, and they all think they're going to get in and get out. They're like, who are all these people? Well, dude, you're not the only one with a fucking court case. Yeah. There's a billion fucking people suing a billion other people in this fucking city for nothing, for literally nothing. Yeah. We're all just passing nickels and dimes around one another, and Donald Sterling's off, like I said, eating caviar out of a fish pussy. That's the name of the show. So fuck, man. It was horrendous. And so I didn't even talk about the meeting we had with the guy. What they did was I mentioned the discovery thing. We go over to the bench and we exchange things and we talk back and forth about what's going on. I've got this, you've got that. Let's call the whole thing off, whatever the fuck. So my lawyer goes and gets cocksucker and he brings him over to the bench and he tells me beforehand, he goes, look, we tried to get a statement from this guy on the phone. He was hostile. Like, he would not even talk to us. He called the very next day looking for a check. And I go, well, he's called me 6 times. He's only left one message. He said, all right, well, you just, no matter what he says, sit here. Don't say anything. You don't even have to look at him. He goes, I will talk to him. He will give me what he has. I'll give him what we have. That's all we're going to do. And you don't say a word to this guy, no matter what he says to you. I said, I go, that's fine. He goes, well, you did say that you got out of the car and there was a fight. I go, I'm cool. I promise. I felt like, again, more Vincent Vega. I'm cool, Mr. Wolf. I'm cool. So he brings the dude over. The dude sits next to me, or sits next to Daryl. Daryl's between us. And he says, well, Mr. Cocksucker, I want to take a look at what you have. This is called discovery, and I'm going to show you our evidence, and you can take a look. And he says, may I look at your folder? And the guy hands him a folder. It's got like a drawing, you know what I mean? And literally like a picture of me and Hangman being hanged, you know what I mean? With just M-I blank E. And it's just awful. And he's got 3 different body shop evaluations of his car. And they all say like $1,500. Because that's what he's suing me for, $1,500. Now Mercury has established that his damage is no more than $500. That's what their estimator, or whatever the fuck, who looked at it said. So not only does Mercury want to deny his claim, they want to make sure he doesn't beat me out of the $1,500, But Mercury's also going after him for the money that they fucking use to repair my car.
Right.
So this dude, even if he gets $1,500, he's probably going to have to give it right to Mercury to fucking pay for my car. It's stupid. This fucking whole thing is stupid. There's no reason for us to fucking be here, cocksucker. What is your problem, God damn it? But he's there, wasting a fucking morning with me. So,
And what does his insurance say?
oh, it's interesting you would mention that, because he had insurance the day that I hit him. He doesn't have car insurance anymore. Because here's what people do. They sign up to drive for Uber and they get car insurance so they can sign up and be licensed and get the app. And then they let it lapse and they just drive.
So the insurance he presented was fake.
Well, he didn't present any insurance in court. He gave it to me on the street.
But
He
the
had it.
insurance he had on the street didn't pay for his accident?
No, it said even on it that it was he had just I hit him December 19th. He got the insurance like December 11th.
And it had already canceled.
By the time he got into court, or by the time that my guys were going after him, yes.
But he didn't put the claim in while he had insurance?
He put his claim in through Uber.
Ah.
Because he was an Uber driver who hit me. And then he saw my Uber sticker and he took a photo of that. That was also in his discovery folder, a photo of my Uber sticker, because he maintained that if I was an Uber driver and I was at the airport, I was in violation with the sticker in the window and I had to pay like a
Even
four.
though he was an Uber driver at the airport.
Yes, he was dropping a fare off because I didn't have anybody in the car. He's like, oh yeah, he had nobody in his car, so he had the sticker. He must pay a $5,000 fine. There's no way he would risk it. And I'm like, get the fuck away from me, idiot. So he's talking to my lawyer. My lawyer is talking to him, when I say that, there's no conversation. Like, we look at all the stuff that he's got in his folder, and Daryl goes, okay, well, here's ours, and he goes, I don't need to see it. He takes it and he doesn't really look at it. He just kind of flips through it and he hands it back, and he says, okay, well, I don't know if there's anything you want to settle or you want to talk about a settlement, or if there's something we can possibly do. But and it was so funny because Daryl told me, he goes, I'm going to propose that, but we're never fucking doing it because we own this guy. He doesn't have fucking insurance. I mean, all this stuff. Yeah. So he goes, we'll go and think about it and you can get back to us and let us know. So then they let us into the courtroom and then Daryl walks outside with him. Yeah. And I'm in the courtroom and Daryl comes back in about 15 minutes. He sits down and he's laughing, kind of chuckling. It's a quiet courtroom, but I go, what happened? And he goes, well, honestly, he told me to go fuck myself. I go, are you serious? I go, like those words? He goes, oh, that wasn't all. And I noticed when he had come back in, the bailiff had gone outside. It's because he warned the bailiff. There's a guy out here who's belligerent. Like, you need to keep an eye on this guy. So apparently Daryl went to him and said, hey, look, we're not prepared to offer any settlement right now. You can drop this if you want because we're still going to make you pay for the damages from before. And he said, you're full of shit. Go fuck yourself. Just get away. And you're full of shit. Go fuck. And he's yelling at him in the hallway. So the bailiff had to go out and tell fucking cocksucker to shut up. And then she comes back in. And Daryl's just laughing. He's like, it's an impeccable suit. And this is a room full of poor. Yes. I mean, it is just a fucking UNICEF convention, man. It is the people, if you went trick-or-treating at their house, you might get a penny, but you'd probably get as a handful of that fucking generic candy that's all just piled into a goddamn bag. Awful. But Daryl's wearing a suit that's actually made out of fabric. Does that make any sense? It's not the kind of suit that you drop an egg sandwich on and then just turn the garden hose on yourself and clean it off. Because there's all these dudes with the ill-fitting fucking sleeves down to the middle of their hands, polyester, beige, tan, fucking terrible suits. Just look like hand-me-downs and hand-me-downs from their great-grandfather's gardener's father. You know what I mean? Just awful, fucking horrible, stained, and they're all... And everybody's Hispanic or Asian and they don't know the language and it's just fucking grim. So they're calling interpreters upstairs to do the Spanish stuff and Daryl's just looking at me and he keeps walking out and I'm waiting and I'm staring and people are using their phones and the bailiff's going, I'm just like, Jesus, get me the fuck out of here. We have that 11 o'clock break. We come back 10 minutes later and finally they get through the businesses. Like I said, listen to this. The waste management company had a guy pinned to the wall. All right. He had a 5-year deal that he had forfeited on, a 5-year contract. And they said, and so the judge goes, well, this is a 5-year contract. And he goes, well, it's a 5-year evergreen contract. And the judge goes, I don't know what that term is. And I know what evergreen means.
That is a bad deal.
Exactly. You know what that is? Pull the fucking waste management company's foot out of my ass. That's what that deal is. Because it's if you don't know what it is at home, it is a 5-year evergreen deal. And the way it works is on the anniversary of the date it's signed, it renews itself for 5 years. So like you sign a 5-year deal, at the end of the first year, you don't have a 4-year deal. It renews to a 5. It's an ever blooming, evergreen contract that is a rollover 5-year thing until you say, hey, I don't want your service anymore. And then it reverts to a standard 5-year contract. Yep. So no matter what, you've signed to this waste management company in perpetuity for the rest of your fucking life until you go, hey, I don't need you anymore. And they go, okay, well, just 5 more years then. Yep. And you're fucking boned. So he's trying to explain this to the judge. And even the judge is going, I don't understand evergreen. Why? He goes, this is a 5-year deal.
I don't think those are legal in this.
I didn't think it was either. Well, the second he said waste management, I'm like, oh, fucking Tony Sperano is fucking here. And I'm like, and I know you think I said that wrong, but no, there's a football coach named Tony Sperano who looks like Tony Soprano. But yeah, this guy's here just busting balls and doing this nonsense. And he's like, yeah, hey, Your Honor, we got this fucking contract. It was just awful. This weaselly fucking dude. And he's wearing short sleeve. Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. But he's explaining the evergreen contract to the fucking judge. And the judge is like, well, it's a 5-year contract. He goes, well, it is, yeah, but it's evergreen, so it rolls over. What does that mean? And he explains it. And he goes, I don't understand that at all. Like, why? How can you do that? Well, they agree to it, Your Honor. Like, literally, that's their answer. They signed it. So he's like, I guess they did. All right, I find judgment for the plaintiff, without fucking prejudice, because nobody shows up to meet to fight with those guys. So there's like a dry cleaner and a waste management company. They're all doing 10 at a time, like 5 at a time with these cases. They're suing everybody. Then another guy goes up and he wanted a different judge. He even told the bailiff, I can't see this judge. This judge is not fair. So they say, well, sit down. So he still has to go in front of the judge. And then the judge goes, yeah, I understand you want a different judge. He goes, all right, well, you can reschedule another court thing. Just go to the office and try to, hopefully you don't get me. I'm like, all right. And this guy's just frustrated as fuck. So he leaves. Then they get 2 people who had a car accident. And so now it's a dress rehearsal for what I'm going to have to go through. Because I even said to Daryl, I go, am I talking? He goes, oh, yeah. I go, okay, how much am I saying? He goes, well, say what happened. I go, all right, well, we had a verbal confrontation before the accident. Am I telling him that? He goes, tell him everything that happened. He goes, we got nothing to hide. We got a witness. We got everything. We got a diagram, and we got the damage that proves he cut you off. So tell him everything that happened. He goes, I will say this. As long-winded as this judge is, he used to be much worse. He would tell you he was an Olympic. He almost made the Olympics as a trial runner. He would tell you that he was working in a civil. He worked in huge civil cases and huge criminal cases. He goes, so believe me, when you ask me if guys want to be, small claims court judges, they don't. They end up here. So that's one of the reasons why he's pontificating and holding court, is because he used to be in charge of these big fucking trials, and now he's trying to figure out whose vacuum went bad. You know what I mean? So that he makes it into Law and Order. That's what he does. So these people go up with this car accident, and this one dude, he was rear-ended, and he's trying to get money, and he went for massages, but it wasn't authorized to, and he's trying to sue for like $800. And I mean, you're just hearing these petty fucking people and their cases, and like, holy fuck. And you're just bored out of your fucking skull. People suing for like $300, $220, and
that's life-changing money for poor people.
Of course it is, and they are poor.
Horrible.
Yes. But so then the battle of the Hispanic Godzillas occurred. It's these 2 women, and they're just fat monsters. I mean, they just are. They and in my head, I'm just like, great. I got to see these 2 wrestle over a tortilla press. That's going to be fucking fantastic. Because believe me, the 2 of them were muy gordita. So. And this is the thing too. They all do this shit. All right. I'm now look. It's like 11:30 when this happens, and I don't even know when lunch is or whatever the fuck. But they're gonna call lunch, and I'm like, I'm not getting the fuck out of here. I know I'm not. Thank God for the extra 50 cents in the meter. This case starts out, and the one woman needs a Spanish interpreter, so they get her upstairs, and she's like, hey, whatever the fuck. It just sounds like Yahtzee dice in a cup. And the translator is like, she is suing for the damages because she was living at her house, and this woman evicted her with no cause and threw her out, and then threw away all of her things and threw them in the garbage and the trash, and she wants to get all of her money and all of her possessions back, and so this woman is suing the other woman because she was evicted unfairly from their apartment. And then they threw away her things. They didn't let her come back and get them. And this poor woman has been on the street for how long? And she was victimized by this landlady. And oh my, it's so terrible. So the judge goes, all right, well, let me hear from the defendant. And this happened a few times, but this is the first time it happened. Thank you, Your Honor. It is a great pleasure for you to be listening to me here in your courtroom, and I am so happy to be here, Your Honor. I respect the jury and the judge in the robe, and I am very excited. And, all that bullshit that they think they're supposed to say because they're poor people trying to sound fucking smart. And I'm like, you know what? If only the person you had kicked out had left a dictionary behind instead of a thesaurus. So she's going on, and her side of the story is, Your Honor, here's what happened. I have testimony from neighbors, and I have testimony from the police. He goes, well, just tell me what happened. And he had to do that with everybody because they would go into these fucking blurring, well, you don't understand, sir. My neighbor said it was. No, I don't give a fuck about your neighbor. Tell me the fucking story about what happened. It's all I care about. And that was what Daryl had said to me. As long-winded as this judge is, all he gives a fuck about is the accident. He doesn't care about my Uber sticker. He doesn't care about any of this shit. He goes, just get to the point, say what you mean, and don't frill it up. He goes, believe me, you'll see everybody make that mistake. And he wasn't kidding. Everybody had to, well, Your Honor, my favorite color is blue, and that was a sad morning in my family. Oh, shut the fuck up. What is your problem? Go be poor somewhere else. So this woman starts, her side of the story is that this woman came to her door one day with her boyfriend, out of the blue. Did not know them, and they did not know her. And they had been evicted from their house, and they needed a place to stay. And this woman let them stay in her apartment. Gave them one of the rooms in their 2-bedroom apartment where she lived with her kids and her mom and her dad. Your Honor, we gave her her own room, and we gave her and her boyfriend and then her kids in that room, and they stayed there, and we stayed in our room, and then we had the living room was this. And he's like, okay, so why did you kick her out? Well, she did not pay any money, and she didn't. Well, but you're saying you weren't really a landlord. Well, I wasn't. It was my apartment. So this woman had her own apartment and basically Airbnb'd some poor people. And then the poor people decided, we're just going to fucking
squat
and do terrible things. And she even said, she goes, she said, because the woman wanted $8,000 in damages for all of her property that had been thrown away. And this woman goes, $8,000. She goes, I threw away rotten food and dirty clothes and a refrigerator that they did not even plug in. They would just use it for storage. And then they brought in one refrigerator, and they brought in these clothes, and they brought in a roach. One roach. I was like, that's beautiful. They brought in one roach. You should be happy. They only brought in one roach. And now we are infested, Your Honor. Well, it sounds to me like they brought in 2 roaches, at least, because I don't... No, that's what I'm saying.
It's like, that judge is awesome.
It would have been.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. If they brought in 1 and you're infested, I doubt it. They had to bring in 2. That's my guess. Because not unlike poor people, roaches like to fuck.
All people.
No kidding. So then the Spanish woman, the woman who only knew Spanish, is saying, no, we had a lovely apartment and our beautiful clothes, and they threw away our baby clothes, and our baby was cold and caught pneumonia in the street, and then there was nothing we could do because they would not let us back in. And then she goes, Your Honor, my father has not been the same since this has happened. And here, look at this paperwork and this paperwork. And he's going, what is all this you're giving me? She goes, we've been sued 5 times by her trying to get this money. And they keep continuing it or throwing it out, and she keeps filing lawsuits. I'm like, who? I thought you had to pay money to file a lawsuit in small claims court. If you're living on the street with a pneumonia baby, what the fuck are you coughing up any spare change to sue this chick for one more time to get your old lettuce back? Hey, you know what? I need to go spend some more money. I want to sue this chick a 6th time to get my roach back. What the fuck? But that's what so she's handing him liens and stuff. She's like, we've been sued 5 different times for this. And it's been thrown out, and the cops, we have a statement from the police saying that there was nothing of value in the house. And then the Spanish woman is like, no, there was things of value. They just would not let the police look in our room. And then she goes, she sent gang members to kill my father. And he goes, what? And she goes, well, he didn't kill my father. Like, my father hasn't been the same. He's been, his asthma is worn out and his heart is not any good because of dealing with this. But unfortunately, we wound up having to have we caught a gang member in our living room. And we said, what are you doing here? And he goes, she sent me here to scare you. And I'm like, what's the worst gang member I've ever heard? And also, how did you know? Did he have like the I'm a gang member shirt? Did he just have like a blue bandana on and like a red thing? Dude. Who's this Vato Loco that you pinched in your fucking living room and he copped out in the frickin' first second? So then the girl goes, you need to see she has gang connections and she's told me that she will kill me and kill my whole family. She has tattoos all over her legs, Your Honor. You should ask her to show him your tattoos. And he goes, I don't care. I don't want to see her tattoos. I don't. And she goes, well, there's more paperwork and my father is sick. And then the Spanish girl's like, well, you don't understand that she stole my refrigerator. And finally he just goes, you know what? I've heard all I need to hear. I will send you something through the mail that tells you exactly what's going to happen. And the woman's like, what? I don't understand. We've been sued 5 times. And then the Spanish girl's like, dice in a cup. And the fucking judge just goes, yeah, I will take this under advisement and I will render my decision and you will be notified via email. And they're like, oh, all right. And, so they started to pack up and their families were in the courtroom. And the Spanish, the girl only knew Spanish, huge grin. Like she's just got this huge smile. Like I don't think she wanted to win. I don't think she gave a fuck about the money. She just looked to ruin this chick's afternoon another time. Like one more time she wanted to ruin her day. Because she flustered the girl with the apartment. And again, like I said, these were 2 fucking beef queens. Pardon me. These are 2 carnitas queens. I mean, they were just big, big Hispanic women. And in my head, I was like, well, here's what we do in the old days. If we're at a bar, we just have them do that bar sumo and run into one another, and the first one to fall down loses the goddamn lawsuit. How about that? What if we do that? Because they were huge. But that girl just smiled, and she went and gathered up like her sister and her family, and they looked like a tough bunch. I'm not going to lie to you.
So you have no idea how it is?
No, I'm done. That's the thing. Fucking cliffhanger, you dick. What are you doing to me? I sat here all day. I listened to all this bullshit. I listened to bad car accidents and Jiffy Lube and everybody else fucking suing everybody else. And now the first interesting case, and you go, I'm going to figure this out at my house. What the fuck, Jagoff?
Did he keep all the paperwork to look at and everything?
He gave them back all their exhibits, but here was the best part. They kept giving him blizzards of paperwork, blizzards. He's like, And they go, all right. He goes, I will take this under advisement. I will let you know via email. You will know I will render my decision. And he goes, all right, we need to give these back. And it's a stack of papers like this. There's just piles of papers.
He kept none of them to look at or read.
Well, he read them. Dude, they were up there for 30 minutes, and he's reading everything. He's going through it. I mean, I'm summarizing it, but it was 30. You were watching the clock going, I go, we're going to fucking lunch. This is crazy. And he kept them up there. And even Daryl kept popping in and just going, this is ridiculous. So he took the paperwork, but this is the thing, he didn't keep it separate. So he just stacked it all up and he handed it to the bailiff. And the bailiff's like, I don't know whose is what. So they start sorting it out. So then these two have to come together and go, that's mine. No, that's mine. No, that's my document. No, that's mine. And they have to fight over the documents now. She scoops them up. She grabs her family and walks out. And the bailiff goes, you need to stay here. Let them leave the building. So they let the fucking Spanish chick leave. And then they kept the family with the father holding his heart. It's fucking awful. And they finally dismissed them. And then we get lunch. I go out in the hallway and I look at Daryl and go, I don't understand how this happens. I don't understand how you can do this. He goes, well, I'm very close to not doing it anymore. I go, well, I hope I'm the final guy. Literally, I should be your last straw because this is grim. I go, don't they realize that he's in there pontificating and talking in circles to nobody that cares? I understand. Like I said, it's his hell and he's got to make it his own deal. But the people in the fucking gallery, they just want out and they're suing for $5 and it's just a nightmare. I go, I thought jury duty was bad. I go, this is terrible. This is just a poor people mud fight. This is awful. And he's just like, yeah, you've hit it. You've absolutely nailed it. And I go, I hope I'm not depressing you by telling you that. He goes, no. He goes, you're actually entertaining me because you're putting it very succinctly and everything you said I agree with. I don't know why I'm doing this. I go, I don't either, dude. But do me a favor. Do it this afternoon and then get the fuck out. And he laughed. And then we go out to lunch. And I go, well, I'm not leaving because I'm not going to risk losing that meter. I got that fucking great meter. So they have a cafeteria on the second floor. We're on the third floor. Yeah, third floor. Only two elevators are broken. There's only one elevator. So 4 courtrooms have been dismissed on my floor alone to go downstairs. Well, all of the floors are using that one elevator. Every time it opens, there's like 30 people in it. It's just brutal. So finally, Daryl goes, there are stairs. I go, where? And he goes, right over there. It's an emergency exit. So we walk over to that. Locked.
The emergency exit of the courtroom is locked.
Yes. And we tell the bailiff, and she goes, "Oh, well, I'll let maintenance know." We go down to the other end, locked. Both emergency exits on the 3rd floor of the Van Nuys Courthouse are locked.
So in the event of a fire, there's no escape.
There's one elevator.
Which you can't use during a fire.
Right. I mean, I don't know if they have a locking system that unlocks when a fire happens. I got no fucking clue. But he looked at me and he goes, "I can't believe this." And I go, "Uh-huh." I go, "Honestly, I'm rooting for a fire at this point. I don't mind."
Wow.
So we...
Where's Mr. Asshole while this is going on?
He's roaming the hallways. He's like stalking.
Okay.
So then... he's, by the way, furious. I should mention that. He keeps going in and out of the courtroom. And the bailiff goes out to talk to him, and I hear him raise his voice. She goes, "You need to calm down. You need to calm down." Because, again, he thought he was going to walk in. We were going to be the first case. He was going to get his $1,500, and he was going to go home. Well, he's sitting there. He keeps uncrossing and crossing his legs.
And you two are laughing like schoolgirls.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Well, I will tell you this. When the woman said, "Your Honor, you don't understand. She brought the roach." And that was the first time I laughed, like out loud.
Didn't laugh out loud.
I did. I just went, "Pah!" And the bailiff like points at me, and I was mad actually because I didn't want to be yelled at by the bailiff all day. I wanted to be the good guy. Oh, I'm the good guy because everybody else had their phones and bullshit. But I was just like, "Huh!" Like it was like that, and I froze. And she looked at me, and here's what I did lamely. I'm not even joking. I went, "Huh!" Pretended I sneezed. I'm like, I sneeze weird, man. First I laugh and then I sneeze. I'm like a Disney character. It's bananas. So we go outside, man. Yeah, it was so terrible. So then I go down to the cafeteria on the 2nd floor, and I literally lunch is till 2:30. 2:30. They dismiss us at 12:15 or whatever it was. 2 hours and 15 minutes for lunch. Get the fuck out of here. So I go down there. I just listen to the iPod and surf the net. I don't eat because again, it was these.
Where did the lawyer go?
He bailed. He took the elevator down. And he goes, I'm going to walk out because I have some work to take care of at lunch. And I was like, all right, dude. I didn't see where cocksucker went. So they're like, be back in the courtroom at 2:30. So I killed time, and then I hopped in the elevator, went upstairs. People are still waiting outside. Daryl shows up, and the woman goes, "The judge is not back, but I'll come and get you when he is." So we sit on the bench, and he and I are talking again. I'm just marveling at the fact that things are terrible. And finally, it's like 2:45. We're like, where the fuck is this judge? We walk in. He's on the bench. He's there hearing a case, and we're out in the fucking hallway. The bailiff never came and got us. So we go in. We wait. There's another traffic accident. Another person suing over some bullshit. I mean, it was just all the same story, the same nonsense. There was this poor African-American woman who brought her 5 kids to the courthouse. You know what I mean? And also he warned us before we went to lunch. He goes, this is just the way it is. He goes, the wheels of justice turn slowly, and sometimes we have to hear everybody's case the way we have to hear it. Now, I will tell you this, you're coming back after lunch, but I also have an afternoon docket, and I also have the overflow coming from another courtroom. So there's a good chance a lot of you are coming back tomorrow. I'm just letting you know that. And I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. So when I talked to Daryl, I go, are we coming back tomorrow? He goes, I'll be honest with you, this is the longest I've ever seen it take. Because it usually is a very trying process. He goes, I will tell you, the judge in this courtroom, if they say they both started at 10 o'clock, that the guy, our judge, would still be talking about his track record, and they'd be dismissing people in this courtroom. He goes, you would want this courtroom because like 5 or 6 people would be gone before this guy even finished telling you about the law. So he goes, if we have to come back, I go, well, look, I can't come back. Because I at lunch, I had to call, I was supposed to get a water pump put in my car. At lunch, I had to call them because they were down in Santa Monica. I had to call my guy, Dave. I had to call Dave and say, hey, dude, I can't make it today. I'm in court until whatever the fuck. So let's reschedule for tomorrow morning. And so I told fucking Daryl, I go, dude, I got a fucking water pump tomorrow. I can't do this. So he's like, well, if you can't, we can get a continuance and come back. I'm like, no, dude, don't. That's not even funny. I mean, you say that, I'm going to move into your house with a roach.
Did he laugh?
He did, thankfully. So then we sit down in the courtroom, and they're hearing people, and the African American woman with her 5 kids was suing because she was supposed to get renovations and a new rug, but they took the rug out and they never put a new rug in to her apartment. And so she was suing for damages. And the judge is kind of like, well, it's not your building. Like, I mean, it was, why are you suing because you don't have a rug? Well, we lived there and it says in the lease.
We moved in and we were told there would be one and we didn't get it.
Yeah, but it seemed to me, but that's what it was. So that was what the lawsuit was. It was just chicanery on the part of some fucking landlord company, whatever the fuck. So he calls like 2 more cases, and I look at Daryl like, dude, because now it's like 3:20, and I'm like, fuck this, dude. And then, sure enough, he's like, Michael Glenn Schmidt and cocksucker. So we go to the front.
Isn't it cocksucker V?
It is, but that blows the joke, Lily.
Oh, okay.
Because don't think it hasn't been going through my head in this moment. Because as I've been talking, I'm like, do I say the guy's real name here to say my name second, or do I say cocksucker? Well, I got it. Well, the joke is cocksucker at the end. I literally, all that's going through my fucking brain, Lil. Cocksucker V. Michael Glenn Schmidt.
It works. It's funny still.
Michael Glenn Schmidt V. Cocksucker.
Sorry.
That's okay, but
Inquiring minds need to chung chung.
But you're the people at home, because they probably said the same fucking thing, and I'm like, hey, you know what? That's just the way it was. So yeah, I did that joke I flipped it for a joke. But yes, they called him first. Yeah. So we go up, and he's on the left, I'm on the right, and the judge starts with some bullshit speech, and I'm literally standing there, I got my hands crossed in front of me, I'm holding my wrist, and Daryl's next to me, and I had said to Daryl, I go, do I tell? He's like, tell him everything. So he's, Mr. Cocksucker, please tell me about this accident. I'm not even kidding. This fucking dude. I mean, he's been Joe fucking Law the whole time, walking around with his manila folder, pissed off, mad, tells us to go fuck ourselves, whatever. And he goes, yes, Your Honor, thank you very much. May I draw on the chalkboard, please?
No, he didn't.
Fuck yes. The first thing he requests is to draw on the chalkboard. And I wanted to laugh, but I'm like, don't do it. And the judge is like, that won't be necessary. He's like, well, Your Honor, I'd like to show you the angle because at the LAX it is very difficult when you're making the turn. He goes, well, just tell me what happened. Literally, that's what the judge says. Tell me what happened. He goes, you don't have to draw anything. Just tell me what happened. Well, this man, I was pulling up, and then he aggressively cut me off, and he wasn't even looking when he did it. He was looking down in his lap the whole time. I assume he was on phone, because we read in his thing, he actually wrote, this driver was on his phone the entire time. He never looked up and smashed into me. That's his story. Okay. Now, again, I've talked about what happened on here, and I'll get to it in a second when I give my statement, my testimony, Your Honor. But he's like, he was looking at phone the whole time, and he did not, and then he rear-ended me, smashed me at LAX. It is very, very difficult. And beforehand, he had come out of car and yell at me and tell me, fuck you, you are bad. And I say to him, hey, you need to get back in your car, sir. And and again, look, own up to your bullshit. You can tell them all. I don't tell them all my bullshit. I don't care, but don't fucking. I tell him, sir, you must get back in the vehicle. It is not safe. Get the fuck out of here, you jagoff. Fucking all this nonsense. I am Rebecca of Sunnybrook, cocksucker. I am very important. Fuck you, you dick. You know what you did. Like, I just wanted to say that over and over. You know what you did. It's what I said when I got out of the car. Yeah. You know what you did. You know what you did. Smiling on my fucking face. So, he tells there was confrontation, and then the light change, and I'm trying to go around LAX. It is very, very difficult to make turns. So I go around, and I go, and I see him even in the rearview mirror. He never look up, not once. And I'm driving, and then he hit me from the behind. He hit in the rear. The guy goes, all right. And so was there damage to your vehicle? There is damage, and that here's my exhibits, and he gives him the fucking, the body shop nonsense. And he says, all right, but if I can draw on chalkboard, I show you and he goes, no, it's fine. I got the gist of it. I know what you did. And he goes, Mr. Schmidt, tell me what happened. And I told him exactly. I said, well, I came to a stop at a yellow light, and Mr. Cocksucker was not happy with that. So he was, I could see him in my rearview mirror. He was yelling and gesturing at me. So I waved at him. And then he opened up his car window. He leaned out and screamed, and he threw a can and hit my car. So I got out and I went back to confront him. And the closer I got, I just said, I went to say, what the fuck is your problem? And when I said it, he got out of his car and he was screaming at me. You need to get, I'll tell you, he said, you need to get the fuck out of here. You need to get back in your car. I will fucking tear you apart. You need to get away from me. And I had to make a decision. And the decision I made was to get back into my car. So I got into the car and then the light turned green. And as I started to come through at LAX, it's a very tight left-hand turn. So I was in my lane and I was turning left and he accelerated around me, cut into my lane and hit his brakes and caused this accident to happen. He said, really? And I said, yes. He absolutely stopped in a green light intersection, hit his brakes so I would rear end him. We then pulled our cars off the side of the road and he got out of the car smiling and he said, you can just give me cash. And I said, I'm not giving you anything. You know what you did here. You know you engineered this entire accident. And he smiled. He goes, well, you can give me cash or we can call your insurance company. And I said, well, we can call an insurance company. I don't, whatever you want to do. And he said, well, and he started hopping because I let him tell his story. I should also mention he tried to say that I was driving for Uber. He is driving for Uber, Mr. Schmidt, and he told me he driving and they're supposed to pay me $5,000 for my accident and they are not telling me. And I mean, he goes, I don't care. Tell me what happened. All that matters is the accident. So as I'm telling my side of the story, I let him. I had my hands in front of me. As I'm telling him, he's almost hopping back and forth on his feet and going, sir, and like raising his hand and trying to talk. Yeah. And the bailiff is like, stop. And he's trying to interrupt me and tell whatever. I said, and he stopped and he asked for money and the police came and that's what happened. I said, and a woman happened to be driving by and she pulled over and she said, are you okay? I said, I'm really not. And she said, well, I just saw the entire thing. If you need me, let me know. And I said, actually, if you could give me your phone number, that'd be great. And she did. And then Daryl goes, and I'll jump in here, sir. Our insurance company was able to call and verify her statement. And I have that here along with the diagram of the intersection. And then I have the damage done to both cars. And he says, well, I'll take it. So he hands it to him. And he says, well, Mr. Cocksucker, what you have something to say. He goes, yes, Mr. Schmidt is telling lots of false statements. Lots of this is false. And I don't know who this woman is, who is a witness. I don't have the opportunity to cross-examine her. This is very unfair. And it's an unfair process. And you won't let me draw on the chalkboard. It's very unfair. And he goes, well, I'm just telling you, I'm just trying to get the facts. Well, yes, it's very unfair, but he is saying false statements about me, and then I cannot interview his witness. And then he was driving for Uber, and he say he not, but he had this sticker, and you cannot have this sticker because there'll be a $5,000 fine. It's just you can't.
Also an Uber driver.
And the guy goes, I don't care about any of that. But here's the thing: what he's trying to say is, I didn't have a passenger. So there's no reason for me to have the Uber sticker in the window at the airport because it's a fine. Yeah. He had a passenger that he had dropped off, but he's not recognized. We're both leaving the airport. We both had the stickers in. So what are you fucking saying? Yeah. But he's just trying to cloud the matter. He's trying to, and he says, I call Uber and I talked to a Miss Caitlin at his insurance and she tell me they are coming after me now. And I don't know why, he rear-ended me. If he rear-ended me, he had fault. That's the way it always works. And he goes, I don't care about any of this. He goes, I don't care about Uber or none of that matters. I go, Your Honor, if you go downstairs now, my Uber stickers are in my car. I never take them off. There is no fine. There is no punishment for having them. If your app is on, you're driving. If your app is off, you can drive around with them in your window. It doesn't matter. He goes, interesting. Well, all I care about is who caused the accident. That's all I care about. And he goes, yes, but he's saying false statement, and he goes, I hear what you're saying, but I've heard your side of it. And I've heard his side of it. And I will take this matter under advisement. And I will examine the paperwork. Do I have the statement from the witness? And Daryl's like, we do. Here's the witness statement. Here's this. And he goes, well, where is Mr. Cocksucker's insurance? He goes, he doesn't have insurance, Your Honor. He says, well, did you have insurance at the time of the accident? He goes, well, that is false. He goes, I'm getting insurance. And he goes, all right, it doesn't matter for this accident. Did you have insurance during the accident? He goes, yes. And he goes, well, did they pay to repair your car? And he goes, no. And Daryl goes, because he doesn't have insurance anymore. And he goes, well, I will take this matter under advisement, and you will find out my decision via email. And we were dismissed.
That's how small claims notifies you now.
Yeah, via email. And so I went to walk out, and the bailiff came over, and she put her hand on my shoulder. She goes, let's let him leave the building. And cocksucker was fuming. He was so mad. He fucking stomped out of the courtroom. He fucking slammed the door open and he bailed. And then I went, I was talking to Daryl. We went out in the hallway. And he goes, I go, how did I do? He goes, you did perfectly. He goes, you didn't embellish. You didn't make up a story. He goes, you told him exactly what happened. And that's all that guy cares about. Trust me, that guy is a straight up just the facts judge. He might talk a lot. He might be flowery. He goes, but all he cares about is finding out who did what, and then he'll make his solution on that. His decision on that. He said, you told him everything. He goes, we have a witness statement. He goes, he can call her if he wants. We have the fact that he doesn't have insurance. He goes, and here's the most important part about the entire case. He was hopping back and forth, and he was gesturing while you were talking. He wasn't letting you tell your story, and this judge hates that.
Yeah.
But most importantly, when he finally got a chance to rebut what you said, he never denied that he asked you for cash.
That's true.
Not once did he say, that's not how. He said, you made false statements, but he never said, I did not ask this man for cash. He rear-ended me, and he goes, he never denied that. And you pointed out that he asked twice and then called you the very next day. And I said, yeah. And he goes, all right, that should be your clincher.
Yeah.
So the way this works is they'll let you know either via email or mail. So watch your mail or watch your email. He goes, but decisions tend to go online early. He goes, you can actually search small claims decisions. He goes, so I'll be on the lookout for that. But if you haven't heard from me by next Wednesday, let me know. He goes, it should be a week. He goes, but if you haven't heard by next Wednesday, I'll see if I have anything. He goes, but I'm busy working, so I'll be happy to take a look. And then we walked out and I bailed. That was it. We went our separate ways. I saw Daryl leave and I disappeared in the horizon, and I'm assuming got in his car and drove off to another career, because there's no fucking way he's ever going back to a courtroom after that fucking day. Because I know I don't want to. I don't give a fuck what happens. I literally, if I ever murder anybody, it's death by cop. I'm not. My own trial would be too much. I'm not gonna fucking sit down and I can't do it ever again. I can't. And I went online to find out the judgment from the judge, and incomplete still. I have no idea. I'll post about it online, hopefully, because by the time this show goes up, it's Tuesday night now. So by the time this show goes up, it'll be fucking Thursday morning, and I better know by then, because that's a fucking week. And then I'll put it in the Joker's page or something, or I'll try to keep you posted. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I know it's not fucking out there. I don't know how long this guy's taking. And look, I understand. He spent a week pondering what to do about that woman's roach. There's no doubt about that.
Maybe he'll abort in that woman's roach.
He might. Maybe that guy will wind up getting a roach. Hey, cocksucker, here's a roach for you.
Oh, man.
All I know at this point is there's no result. I had to get up early. I had no sleep. I realized I don't ever want to be in a courtroom again. And I know that the fourth show we do tonight is going to be about Kuwait. That's all I know. You guys can get me at Mike Schmidt, Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40year-old-boy. You can follow me at Instagram at Mike Mike40YOB. Mike40YOB. Check that out. Our great friend David Hernandez does all the artwork for this show. I'm sure he's done the Kim's logo. He's gone ahead and put that up. And then what was the other thing I wanted him to do? A Minotaur? I don't know. Something cool. I'm sure he did it, though. He does all the artwork for the show. You can find him at Facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez and be his friend there. See all of the Mex memes he comes up with. If you want to go to artbydmh.com, you can check out the cool art he's done in the past. He's got icons or Guycons. He's got Valscapes. And then, of course, he has stuff for sale. Like if you've got something you want him to do. Like if you said, hey, do me a favor, paint a picture of Mike at the desk with all of his Jokers and a Hulk guy and a Batgirl in a box. He might do it if you want to pay him enough. And so he's the guy. Go to artbydmh.com. He does all of our cool artwork, all of our music, all of our great stuff, and he is responsible for every single piece of it. Visit him at artbydmh.com and give him money. Ryan Dirks. He is the web guy for this show. You can go to Facebook.com/Ryan Dirks and be his pal, his buddy, his chum, and the producer of this show. And it changed. Really, come on, be honest. It changed the way the show was, right? This is how I like to work. This is what I like to do. I like to have Lily here for 9 or 10 hours and do 3 shows with her and bang them out and then never put those other ones up. That's fantastic. That's what I like.
9 or 10?
It's been a while.
What time is it?
I don't know. I refuse to speculate, and I don't have a clock. But our great friend Lily Von Stubb is the producer of this show. We're happy that she's here. We're always happy to have her. I think she'll be here next week. I don't know. Look, it's a discussion, folks. It's always a work in progress. You can follow her at several different... Well, first go to facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp and stare at a page you'll never be a friend on. But she's... who knows? You know what? Just get in line, folks. Queue up.
I'll be cleaning it out soon, so don't be rude.
Oh, look at that. A purge is coming. She's going to be executing a purge. You can follow her at several different Twitter accounts. You can find her at twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest, twitter.com/Monday Night Teas or MNTs, twitter.com/MNTs, and twitter.com/Boobdini. But if you'd like to write her a personal note,
please,
and send her, say, you know what, I enjoy Boobdini, and I'd really like you to show me a picture of your big deck. And if you want to ask her what jumper she was wearing today and what happened when she went to pick up her shoes, you can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Welcome to the DMV. May I help you?
Shield your gaze, maggot! You are in the presence of Thorgod, Deathbringer from the inner circle of the 7th level of hell! I am Yeep, herald to the depraved one, and it is I who controls your fate! Follow my instructions completely, and perhaps my lord will choose to anally desecrate you only until he becomes bored with the savaging! Fail me, and rest assured that he will dedicate himself to the task until the very length of his rancid member spills forth from your pitiful mouth! He who brings pain demands that you procure a license, allowing Thorgod to operate any earthly vehicle. You will do this immediately, or face the unholy
You
aftermath.
need to stand in line for the test.
A test? A parasite such as yourself is not fit to test the mighty Thorgod, a beast who is dined on human flesh such as yours with the Dark Lord himself. The only test to be administered lies waiting for you in the abyss.
Everyone takes the test.
No! Live out the rest of your cursed days knowing that hell goblins await your arrival in the pit, eager to test the limits of your spine, twisting and cracking endlessly until your screams produce only blood. We now leave your domain, but know that we will soon violate you in ours. Look away! Oh, Thorgar, yes, it is a nice day. Yes, the fresh air will do you good. Yes, we can look at bicycles later this afternoon.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. It is heralded by everyone as the greatest burlesque show ever to hit this great big blue marble of ours. And I happen to know the producer of that show. She's also the producer of this show. She's my great friend, your friend and mine, ladies and gentlemen, Lily Von Stupp. Hi, Lily. How are you?
Hello.
How you doing over there?
I'm exhausted.
You and me both. It's been a long day, a trying day, a lot of talking. My voice is holding up, but hopefully I'll have it back by next week in a smooth, mellifluous way.
14 hours.
I don't know if that's true, really.
14 hours.
You keep saying that,
I
but
left for an hour and a half.
well,
14
there were
hours.
photos to take and things to do
14
today.
hours. I'm exhausted.
There were photos to take and several shows to do, so things happened. But I'm glad you stuck it out, and thank you for coming back and helping me finish. You're very nice. Well, you're the producer. You absolutely have to. Look what you did today. Look at all those fucking awesome, cool photos you came up with.
Some shit. I was just looking at those photos, actually.
Pretty neat.
Here, yeah.
Well, I'll use them occasionally, so I'm excited. So, Lily, you are the person who runs the Monday Night Teas. Is that correct?
I am.
How was this week's Monday Night Teas?
It was good, despite me being there.
I don't get that at all.
No, it was a very good show. It was fun. Boobdini was in town, and she did her
Boobzilla.
electric show. Boobzilla, I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She did her electric show where she lights stuff with her hands and runs electricity through audience members into their hands, and it's pretty cool.
Weird.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty awesome.
And there were naked people too, right?
Yeah.
Did she use her electricity and touch somebody in the back of the neck and it lit up their pasties?
No.
That would have been awesome.
That kind of would have been.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do that.
I think so too. You need electric nipples.
Oh my god. That is totally going to be my first album.
Electric nipples?
Yeah.
All right. You say that as if you have not released an album up to this point.
I've not.
Under your pseudonym Joan Armatrading.
That is not.
It's not your pseudonym?
No.
I thought it were. So Lily, so the tease was fantastic. The people were naked and everything was fun, yes? Who's coming to next week's tease?
Next week's tease is Matt Finch's birthday.
Oh, Matt Finish.
Matt Finish will be performing. I'm performing. I'm doing a duet with Yachty.
Yachty Romero?
Yachty presents.
Okay.
She and I are doing an act together. Matt Finish asked, and we couldn't say no.
Wow. Well, you're just a girl who can't say no. So.
I am just a girl who can't say
Well, that's fantastic. Well, that sounds fun. Matt Finish is he's that tiny little naked guy who fits in a shot glass, yes?
Pretty much. He's the Mr. Exotic World that fits in a shot glass.
Yeah, he's a guy singing on a clamshell. He's one of those little dudes.
He's a solid packed.
He's tiny. Yeah, you pry open a clam and there he is hugging a pearl. He's that little guy.
I don't think he's hugging a pearl.
He's pretty tiny.
He is the eyebrow of burlesque.
Oh, that's funny.
Literally, he just looks out at the audience, raises one eyebrow, and everybody goes, "Oh."
Oh, I thought you meant that's just how big he was, because he could sleep on your eyebrow. He could nestle in and totally sleep, hold himself there. He's very small, is my point. If he were to go to purchase a car, he would not try. He doesn't care anything at all about the inside or the finish or the engine. He literally just hangs himself from the rearview mirror and swings and goes, "Yeah, I can take this. This is fine."
That is not true.
He's totally tiny.
Now you're just being mean.
No, that's not mean at all. He likes the view from the rearview mirror.
Tiny.
No, he's a very small man.
He's a compact young man. He's amazing, and it's exciting to have him back in L.A. again.
Well, I like him, although he got a little fresh with me last time I saw him.
Did he?
Yeah, he ran up my leg over my shoulder, he climbed into my mouth, and he used my uvula as a speed bag. He just like.
What is wrong with you?
He's a very tiny man, is my point.
It's going to be a great show.
Well, Matt Finish's birthday show.
Sarciani is performing.
All right.
And who else is performing? Kirby La Brea and Olive, who is just so adorable. Olive.
Can we talk? Well, I probably can't. I shouldn't.
What?
I know, because it's not.
What is the question?
Well, it's not about us. It's about somebody you just mentioned, and I don't know if.
Olive?
But they put it out. No, but they put it out in
Sheila
public.
Sarciani?
No.
Kirby La Brea?
Yes.
What about him?
That's a dude, right?
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm his Facebook friend.
Yeah.
Did he just write something on Facebook like, "Hey, he just got out of jail or rehab. He'd been gone for like 30 days, and he hopes everybody's okay."
No, that was Viper Sindel.
I wouldn't mix them up. It was, I apologize. It was a comedian with a name like Kirby La Brea. Okay, because it was one of those things where, again, social media is fucked. I mean, Twitter and Facebook. And look, I sit here and I do a show about fucking kangaroos. Who cares? But on those things, these people write they legitimately write stuff where they're like, "Hey, man, I just got out of alcohol rehab after 30 days, and I'm excited to have my chip, and I'm going to go out and see my friends, and let's all get together and don't be strangers." And it's like, dude, you souse. How dare you tell me that in public? Keep your shame private, motherfucker.
Shame is so terrible for you.
Because everybody wears it like this fucking badge of honor. Everybody's excited.
Sometimes they just talk about it because it's part of life.
No, they talk about it because they have a keyboard and a fucking platform. That's it. In the old days, you know what you did? You suffered in silence. You went home after your rehab. You went in the basement and you snuck nips out of a goddamn fucking shot glass, and you tried to get nobody to smell your breath because you knew you were a failure. But now these guys are all like, "Ha ha! Look at me. Sunshine's the best disinfectant. I'm gonna go outside now. Hold on, I'm gonna drink cough syrup." I mean, it's just they collapse it in public, and then another month later they're like, "You know what? I went to rehab and everything seems to be fine. Everything's good." Ya da da da, ya da da da. Oh my God, I have no idea how that cock went up in my ass. You know what I mean? It's just everybody's got some bullshit story. It drives me crazy. I cannot lie anymore. I must vocalize. I must verbalize.
In reality, the thing that bothers you is that people talk about their failures.
Go fail in silence. Nobody cares. I'm failing enough on my own. I don't need to see your failures. Everybody's whining. Everybody's got Twitter and Facebook, and they're all just like,
whining, or are they all just talking about it?
"It's 2 a.m. I don't know where my friends are, but if anyone's out there and wants to send me a hug, I could really use it right now." Shut the fuck up. Oh my God. And look, that's strong. I live your life and be happy, I guess. But it's just this weird thing where everybody.
You hate pumpkin spice memes too, don't you?
I'm not a fan of anything.
That's the name of the show.
Oh, dude.
I'm not a fan of anything.
Look, it's just, and again, it's me. I recognize this. This is my problem. It's just that everybody takes this platform and either everybody's a snarky asshole who follows up with whatever you do with their own better joke, or they're all writing a plea about how sad they are because their dog has the sniffles. And look, nobody gives a flying fuck. Terrible news. It turns out Muffin doesn't like soup. So I'm going to have to buy actual dog food with all of its cereal fillers. Oh my God, shut up. There are real people dying in the street. It's dark now. I'm in a bed and alone for the first time in a long time. If anyone wants to send me a Words with Friends password, I'd appreciate it. Oh my God, shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
I think I have a new name for Facebook for you.
Let's hear it.
Sylvia Plath Book.
Yeah.
Because that's what you think of it, don't you? It's just everybody whining.
It is. It's just a huge bell jar filled with everybody I went to high school with. Jesus fucking Christ.
I did that recently.
Yeah.
You ever find somebody you went to high school with, and then you're like, oh look, so and so's online, and so and so's online, and 6 degrees later
Yes.
you're like, oh, I don't want to know this.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what any of these people are doing.
I've had to get rid of people I went to school with, and I mean, because I don't want to fight with anybody online. I told you I don't fight with ghosts. I don't want to deal with it. There's a couple of people out there who are spoiling for a fight, and you can see when they're doing it. They'll post bait all the fucking time, and I'm just like, and I go, I want to set this dumb fuck straight. And then I go, why? What's the point? I'm never going to convince him. He's never going to convince me. She's never going to convince me. It's not happening. So don't. So you just got to scroll by, and then hey, look, there's my nieces. They're beautiful. Like, and then I'll go read a book or play solitaire on my fucking phone.
I went and found somebody that I went to high school with that I did beauty pageants with.
Yeah.
Younger. She looks exactly the same, only
Just grown?
She finally has some wrinkles. I mean, that's literally it. It's like there's crow's feet around her eyes and exactly the same smile, exactly the same eye, the whole thing. It was creepy. It literally was like looking at a 50-year-old, 10-year-old. I mean, it was just so weird because she was a little pocket thing anyway.
Right.
And again, none of this is negative. We all get older, but it was just so weird to see. It was like the ghost of Christmas past, right? And I just was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because I'm
married and I'm just like, what?
Yeah. What happened to your head, or didn't happen to your head?
Yeah. Why? Yeah.
What? Just, dude.
Then I started like bouncing around, and I was like, these people are all old. What happened? I mean, literally, it's like my grandkids are, and I'm like, you're 50.
Yes.
You've got grandkids, and you're like, how? Why?
It is really, that is a phenomenon that I've noticed, how people decide that they're old. Like I always joke that I'm old, and I'm the oldest I've ever been, and I'm 50, and I keep saying I'm 50. I'm 49. But that's the oldest I've ever been, and I say that all the time. But there are people my age that I went to school with, and they are gray as fuck. Yeah. They got that monk's crown baldness happening. And they're tweeting about how they're fixing their riding mower, and they got to be to bed by 7 p.m. because they got to be up and you're just like, oh my God, what happened to you, dude? And look, I'm no prize. I'm watching cooking shows and sitting in my fucking house and staring and wondering what the fuck happened to my future. But still.
But yeah, it's when you have a childless in a career that is still geared towards youth, you have a different lifestyle than all of those people who. Because, I mean, my friends got married and had kids immediately out of high school.
Yeah.
So their kids are having kids now, and it's just like...
Yeah. Well, all my friends have kids. All of my friends are married and have kids. And I'm not going to lie, man. It's starting to get a little rough. Like I told you, I literally sat in my apartment for a week and did nothing. I wanted to do stuff. I was like, I'm going to go to a movie. And then I'm like, nah, I'm not going to. I'm going to go on the internet and read Twitter, and I'm going to go read sports and UFC, or I'll watch a movie at my house. But then, I'm not going to watch a movie. Instead, I'm going to go online and I'm going to read. It's because I have nobody. And I talked about this on here before. I just want to play catch. I know that sounds fucking dumb. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It's more about companionship or camaraderie. I have no idea. But I don't.
You should join a frisbee club or a bowling team.
Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to play adult kickball because I have no future.
I'm telling you, pick up Pokemon.
You know what? Actually, that looks fun. I'll get out and start walking and grab a fucking Lickamosaur and go see what the fuck happens. Yeah. Chichapoo? What was that? What did we call them before?
Pikachu.
Yeah, but we called them Chikapoo earlier. On accident.
Which is funny, a Chikapoo.
I'll catch him too. I don't give a fuck. Lock him up in my phone jail. So that's all. I'm a grouch this week. That's what it is. I'm a grouchy old man. And also, we're at a time in our country where everybody has kind of dug themselves into the sand, and they're like, you stink. No, you stink. You stink. I mean, and you're just, it's tiring. Like there's no secret about what side I'm on, but I don't care much for anybody on either side at this point, except for the person leading in the front. The person in the front of the parade is fine with me.
I'm at the point right now where I'm just like, I'm not going to sit back anymore and pretend that these candidates are equal in any way, shape, or form.
Well, they're not.
And I'm no longer going to say, yeah, I'm not really pleased about either of them. I'm actually very pleased about one.
So am I.
Yeah,
Those people who are like, I'm voting for the lesser of two evils, I want to go, why? That's
No, you're
incorrect.
Not. No, you're not. You're voting for something that makes you feel like you can still bitch later.
Yes.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're hedging your bitch.
Yeah. Oh, nicely done.
You are literally going, no matter what happens, I'm going to vote for something I'm not really happy about and I can bitch about it later. I'm just going to burn the whole thing down because the whole thing's broken. The whole thing isn't broken. I'm tired of that philosophy. Everything is not shit. It's not.
Agreed.
There are so many terrible things that can still happen.
Oh, yeah. And I hope so. Yeah. See, but the problem is, again, and that gets back to the start of this whole fucking thing off, everybody's got a voice. Yeah. So fucking, you go online, you see people bitching about stuff or these things happening or somebody getting filmed, putting a gun in somebody's ear or, and you're just like, holy fuck, this whole shit house is going to burn the fuck down. I just want to get up before the whole thing goes up in flames. Ha ha, Morrison.
But again, you can look at anything any way you want. Right now, I can say I have never been happier in my life. Or I could go, I'm one bad show away from being homeless.
Yeah.
It could all fall apart tomorrow, but you know what? It could all fall apart for any of us.
Does this show count?
About what?
The homeless deal?
Yeah, well.
Please, accept it, please, because I'm worried. We better go back and now we definitely have to do a fourth show. If you're one bad show for being homeless, this is not the one to save you.
One bad production away from being homeless, but you know what I read?
You know what's really funny? I'm one singular sensation from being homeless.
But I'm an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. I thought it was very funny, but I'm not.
No, that's okay. Don't give me any satisfaction.
No. No. But we're all, because this is what our career is. But we are also like Trump is, one bad art of the deal away from filing bankruptcy.
Agreed.
The difference is, if I file bankruptcy, I still have $12 in a car that's 20-year-old. He still has $10 million and
Yeah. A building with giant letters of his name.
Yeah, his name all over it and the ability to borrow money again.
Well, I actually have three things to say about that.
Yeah.
One, singular sensation. That's all I want to do.
Every little step
She takes da 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 da. One.
Thrilling combination.
Every move that he makes. And
one smile and suddenly nobody
else will do.
You know you'll never be lonely with you. No, who? One moment in her presence, and you can forget. Really, we're gonna do this?
Sail on down the line, half a mile or so.
Just end it now.
We should.
Just end it. Just burn it down.
If I didn't have dumb shit to plug, I would. Jesus Christ. Monday Night Tees, go to brownpapertickets.com and buy tickets for the Monday Night Tees. Go and experience it live. It's the best part of it. And you can go see people get naked and then see people be funny and see all sorts of people make you laugh, including my great friend Lily. You may get a glimpse of her top hat. But she's the best, and we're happy to have her back, and I'm thrilled. And please go check out her show. It's awesome. And tickets are at brownpapertickets.com. Also in that very same venue, it's funny you would mention this, next Monday night, 2020 has done it again, ladies and gentlemen. That's coming up. It's in like 5 days.
On the 19th?
Yes.
Oh.
September 19th, Monday night at the 2020 at the 3 clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. The very funny Lisa Curry, the very funny Carmen Morales is going to be, the two of them will be joining me. I will be the third 20 in that 20 triumvirate. And we'll be making you laugh. We'll be coming out and checking it out. Tickets are available at brownpapertickets.com. Right now, those are available for, I think, 10. At the door, they're 15. But there's a Gold Star link where you can get them for $5. And that's important, man. You can save a little dough. Come in and watch 3 very funny people do 20-minute sets. Well, 2 very funny people do 20-minute sets and me yammering. But it's going to be great. And $5 tickets, you can't beat that. Come on, man. It's fucking...
Or you can pay 10 if you want at Brown Paper Tickets.
You can do that, too.
Because we make more money that way.
That we do. But I'm trying to get people in the door. It's weird. You and I are at odds. We're at loggerheads.
I'm not at odds. I'm saying that if you want to save $5 because you need to save $5, do that. If you want to support the show more, you can always buy the $10 ticket.
We'd appreciate that if you want to buy the $10 ticket. So come on in and check it out. Have a good time. It's Lisa Curry, very funny. Carmen Morales, also very funny. And I met Carmen over pancakes, and she was like, hey, I'd like to do that show. And I was lucky enough that she was available when I needed her, which was really cool.
What was she doing bent over pancakes?
She wasn't bent over pancakes. I met her over pancakes.
She was sitting over them?
She was sitting across from me, and there were pancakes in betwixt us.
So you shook hands over pancakes?
No, we had a chat about shows and comedy. But there was literally, we like I said, they were betwixt us. I wanted to say it again. So Carmen's available. Lisa Curry's available.
I hope she brings pancakes.
I hope so too. So those tickets are available now. Buy them. Come out September 19th for the show. It starts at 7:30, and who knows when it'll end. I do, 8:30. That's stupid. So please come out and check out that show. It's a lot of fun. Hey, did you know that this show is sponsored by several different sponsors? They don't even know it. MileIQ.com sponsors this show at MileIQ.com/invite/HFVHB. You can use that. What are you mocking me for?
I have a funny story about MileIQ.
Oh, good. Okay. MileIQ.com/invite/HFVHB. You use them for your taxes. You save money. I get like a $25 gift card for some nonsense. So please do that. MileIQ.com/invite/HFVHB. Your story.
Okay, so I'm teaching at Mensa Burlesque.
I heard.
And I am against show us your app.
Okay.
Stop by and tell us what your favorite app is, and we'll discuss different apps that we can use for different things. So
That's at Mensa?
That's at Mensa.
Okay.
It was because all of these are like electives at college. They're
I
all
see.
about cool things that somebody wants to share. They also had a William Shatner karaoke, and a woman won it. It was awesome. So I'm getting ready to start my class, and we're a few minutes early, and a few people are coming in, and I said, by the way, in case any of you are really upset that you're missing what we are against right now, which is Show Us Your App, here's an app for you. It's called MileIQ. My friend Mike Schmidt turned me on to it. I said, this is how it works, and you can like swipe right if it's business, swipe left. They send you a thing. It'll go right into your QuickBooks for you. It takes care of all of your mileage for you, and I'm sure that that is something that you guys are down to the penny on. So I'm just telling you, it's a great app, so you can stay now if you want, if you don't want to go over there and you feel like you haven't missed out on it. And literally they were all like, what is the app? What is the app? What is the app? And Tom, who listens to the show, who is the reason that I was at the Mensa convention, goes, hold on a minute. Here's a code in case you want to download it. And is playing the podcast where you're saying the code. It was fucking brilliant.
No way.
I started laughing, and some people are like, okay, what's the code? It was so fucking funny. So I'm like, I'm going to be funny because I'm like, hey, here's an app in case you're here and you don't really know if you want to be here or not.
Nice.
And he fucking gave out your code for you. I laughed so hard.
Tommy, you're the man. Thank you, sir.
It was so funny. So yes. So if one shows up, you know why.
That would be great. MileIQ.com/invite/HFVHB. And honestly, they don't know they sponsor this fucking show, but it's great. I mean, I use it. So I mean, I'm not. Yeah.
I love it too. Yeah.
It's not some phony bullshit.
No.
I mean, it doesn't
Eddie
really.
loved it.
You just
He
fucking
loved it.
swipe.
It's great.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So please use it if you can. Sign up for them. If you want to drive for Lyft, use my code Mike720057. That's MIKE 720057. I believe that's all caps. And then if you want to drive for Uber, it's DJZW1YTTUE. If you sign up by the 17th, which is this Saturday, and then complete a certain amount of trips by October 1st, there's a tiered payment system, and it's a bunch of fucking hoops to jump through. And also nobody's using this. I've literally only had like 3 people use my code, which is weird. I thought I'd be the Uber pimp of the century, but whatever the fuck. People have real jobs. So if you want to go drive Uber, use my code DJZW1YTTUE. Lyft is Mike 720057. Drive for those companies like I'm going to be driving for those companies this week, like a psychopath. If you're listening to this, I'm in the fucking car. Believe me, because I haven't worked in like 6 fucking weeks, and I'm that guy who has bills to pay.
Really?
Especially after dumping $1,000 into my fucking car last week for the fucking water pump and everything else. I don't know. I didn't tell you guys that, did I? I'll tell you on the way out. Please remember that we're going to be at the Los Angeles Podcast Festival, the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. I will be performing Saturday night, the 24th.
Jumpsuit for you.
Will you wear the one you're wearing now? All right. Lily's going to wear what she's wearing now, and she's just going to pick things up all night. Believe me.
That's right.
That is worth the price of admission. So let's see, that's the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. I'm actually performing Saturday night, 7 o'clock, the 24th. Check it out. And I will tell you right now, I still am not sure what is going to be done on that show, but who knows? But like I said, it's in play. It's interesting. This week took a turn. Something happened, and we'll see what happens. So come out and check me out as I'm talking and being funny live at the Los Angeles Podcast Festival. I'll be there all weekend. Glad handing, shaking, hands, getting attaboys, back slaps. People tell me how great I am. Can't wait. So come to that show. Come through my window, as Melissa Etheridge would tell you. I'll be in the Santa Monica room at 7 o'clock on Saturday night, the 24th. But tickets are available now. If you go to Los Angeles Podcast, Podfest, lapodfest.com, I believe it is, and you use our code, which is... Lily?
40YOB.
40YOB is our code. That will get you discount tickets, but it will also get you a live stream. If you buy the live stream, you can sit in your fucking house in Rhode Island and just watch me talking from distance. And you buy the live stream, you can watch fucking everybody. You can watch them for like a month. So you don't have to watch me, because I'm against the Crab Feast and the Dollop, two amazing fucking shows. Well, if you watch me live, you can watch them later. But if you watch them live, you can watch me later. Who the fuck knows? You can watch it for like a month. But the live stream code is 40YOB. And as I've mentioned before, if you use the live stream code, if you buy tickets or if you use 40YOB to save some money, because here's the thing, you save $5 on your purchase, and then I get a certain amount of money, and they get your eyeballs, and that's everybody's happy. But if you use that code, send me proof, and I will somehow work you into the show at the Podfest, at the live Podfest. So if you use my code, use my code. So it's 40YOB. We'll work you into the show. We'll say your name. We'll figure somehow. And I won't just say your name. I'm not in fucking Romper Room. Who the fuck do you think I am?
Oh my God, be Romper Room at the opening.
I see.
Magic mirror.
I see this person and that person.
That would be so awesome.
Well, maybe, but we'll figure it out. We'll see. We'll see how it works. Because again, right now I don't even know what the fuck is happening over there. But tickets are available now at lapodfest.com. Use my code 40YOB and be happy that you did. And see me live stream. See me live stream. Hey. And all that other cool stuff. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Go to the Joe Business page. All sorts of cool stuff there. Download sets, T-shirts, mystery shirts, live stuff. The Big Angry CD. We've got the Heroes CD. We've got the Misanthropic Gangster, Word Pimp Schmitty and the Misanthropic Gangster. Those are all available for a small donation to the show. Of course, downloads, live stuff, CDs, DVDs. We don't have any of
Are
those.
you selling autographed headshots?
Never. That seems ridiculous. That seems like something nobody would ever want.
Topless photos have worked for me.
Well,
Do some topless photos?
Actually, I wouldn't. I could do that. I get final approval on the image, but I could probably pull that off.
Let's do that. Awesome.
So those are available now, and also important, very important. If you're at the website, use the Amazon link. Man, use our Amazon store link, and what you do is you click on that, and it gets you to our store, which is woefully understaffed, and I will eventually will get to that. Sure, I will. I keep saying that every goddamn week. But then in the upper left-hand corner of our store, it'll say Powered by Amazon. Click on that and go to regular Amazon and do some shopping. Now, here's the thing. If I actually filled our store with stuff and you bought it from there, I'd get more money. But I'm way too lazy for that to happen. So I want you to also sample all that Amazon has to offer. So go to our store, give it a sneer, and then click on Powered by Amazon and go to their full site and buy all sorts of cool stuff and make sure you use our code. Or you don't have to. If you're already in there, if you're clicking through those two banners, you're definitely using our code. And we get money, you get stuff, they get money. It's perfect. They get money, you get stuff, we get money. It's amazing. That's a palindrome. It works out great. Money, stuff, money. Money, stuff, money. Back and forth, same deal. So be a palindrome, motherfucker. Go over there to 40YOB, or no, don't go there. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and go to the Joe Business page. It's fucking amazing. Go buy a palindrome. Be a palindrome. Be a pal. Indrome. Stupid. So then I went to get my car fixed. All right, so here's the deal. Tell you, you want to hook people in, get them halfway through a recipe and cut your fucking show in half. That's it. Do an hour about stew in this bale, get on a plane, and then come back and revisit it 2 days later, because that's the most important stew in the universe. Were there noodles or rice involved? Stay tuned!
Bring that beat back. Bring that beat back. Here is your soup.